Hello, everybody, and welcome to Play Some Video Games, the only gaming podcast reminding you to don't get cooked, stay off the hook. Thank you for joining us each and every week and spending just a little bit of your precious time with us. We appreciate it. It is your host, Kevin, back after a long period of contract negotiations between Donnie and myself. We gave Kyle the boot, and he's no longer the host. And I'm back in the driver's seat, if you will, and Kyle's much relieved to that as well. So with us this night is Kyle. So, Kyle, man, how we doing?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there. It's hot as heck, but I know it's that way pretty much everywhere right now. So, speaking of hot, Donnie's here.
Yeah, I am. Greetings, Kooplings. What's going on?
How's it going, man? And last but certainly not least, making her third appearance, I believe, in the podcast format.
We're
Caroline.
on number 3. Yeah,
Number
I should
3.
be a pro by now. Hey, Team Arena!
Third time's a charm. Maybe this time you'll actually do great. Just kidding.
Wow.
Woo. I'm salty today. Hey, we're both on Team Ice Cream though, so it's okay. But we'll get to the Splatoon stuff later. We'll get to that later. But first, let's catch up and see what we've been up to, what we've been playing. Kyle, throw it to you first, buddy.
So I know I just was recently on a podcast, but since then I have put a little more time into Mass Effect Andromeda. It's still fine. I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think that is the advantage of lowered expectations, maybe. Yeah, so it's okay.
Can we add in like the Mad TV lowered expectations?
You definitely could. So, you know, I did play the first 3. I enjoyed them a lot, and I was really excited for this game. But I didn't get it right away, and I definitely tempered my expectations on it, and I think that's helped it. I think that's only been helpful as far as playing it and my experience for it goes. In addition, I've been playing a little more Next Machina again. Seth is in love with that game. He is He just put a review up on the site, so I highly recommend you check it out. He's a huge fan, and he has said he is shooting for my high scores. So I now need to play to defend my high score honor against him because he's the only person on my friends list who also has the game. So I need to defend my honor. So I've been playing some more of that to you know, make sure I can still hold supremacy over him for a while at least. In addition, Overwatch every night because it's Overwatch and I can't get away from it. I always think, you know what, if I didn't play Overwatch, how many more games I'd have completed at this point? The answer is a lot, but I just continue plugging away at it. And trying to finish up Plague Road for review. I'm enjoying this game. It's really weird, though, because it's a game that I'm playing that I feel like I should be much further in, and for some reason I'm just not. I sit down and I play it, and I feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels a little bit, so I want to finish that up. Yeah, and in addition to that, I picked up a little new console over the weekend. I got myself a Nintendo Switch, which I know Donnie, I think, was more excited about even than I was. So I've been playing Graceful Explosion Machine a little bit. I'm enjoying that. That was the one of the few games I was really excited about playing on Switch because I am a huge fan of twin stick shooters. The one thing about that game that's throwing me off a little bit, though, isn't a true twin stick shooter in the sense of
twin stick shooter, yeah.
Right, like you can't like aim straight up and shoot. It's just left or right, and it's taking me some time to get used to that. I have definitely had a number of deaths where I'm like, why can't I just shoot that person right down
I
there?
had the same thing, and I imagine it's even worse because you're doing the Next Machina thing.
Yes, absolutely it is. Yeah. So it's still a great game, though. I love the art direction, and I think it's really pretty and pretty striking in its own way. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And then I'm playing that little game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, let me preface before I say anything else with the fact that I am enjoying this game. But similar to Mass Effect Andromeda having lowered expectations, Zelda had really high expectations to live up to. And there's just one thing I want to point out about the messaging and everything that has been said by people about Zelda. This whole you can climb everything thing is completely untrue. Because when I went in my first shrine, I couldn't climb anything.
Yeah, you can't climb the walls.
You can't climb in shrines.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's just shrines.
Well, right, but when all I hear for months is you can climb everything.
That's true.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then I get into my first shrine. I fight a little guy and fall off the edge a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'll just climb back up this. Nope. Got to go find a ladder.
Yep.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm enjoying the game. I think.
How many shrines are you in?
6, so not super far. 6 shrines in.
You made it off the plateau.
I did make it off the plateau. So, like I said, I'm enjoying the game. It's just one of those things that when you hear that messaging about like, oh my gosh, you can climb everything, no one ever says, or very few people say almost everything or everything except when you're in a shrine. So when I'm expecting literally to be able to climb everything and then you get into a shrine and you're like, oh, except all of this stuff, which obviously for puzzle design and everything else, it can't be that way. So I get it. It's just not at all what I was expecting. But I'm enjoying my time with it. It is fun. I don't really like playing it in handheld mode. I feel something to just like Great Soul Explosion Machine is fine in handheld. For something about how the controls work in that game in handheld mode, I don't like it a ton. I still played it for a little bit tonight that way, and I would still play it that way. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not going to play it like that.
Interesting. I'm in opposition to you guys. I play it almost exclusively in handheld mode now.
Me too, so we can play it in the tub.
Yes, I do play in the tub, but even before that, like Kevin, I mean, yeah, we'll get into it.
So yeah, so like I said, good game, great game. I definitely prefer it with the Pro controller sitting on my couch. I think it still looks really good and it still plays fine. It's just something about how my hands have to sit on the back of the actual tablet part itself when I'm playing it in handheld mode. Like I just got to figure out what that's going to be for me. But otherwise, good game. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to and what I've been playing.
See, to get back on the whole handheld versus thing, because this isn't really, I don't think this is a big debate. For me, it's more the game itself was too big in scale that I didn't like playing it in a handheld. I wanted to be able to experience and see everything. It was more of that. The controls didn't bother me. It wasn't like, oh, it runs better in handheld or TV. It was just a preference of like, hey, I want to get absorbed into this world, and I have a harder time doing that on a smaller screen. That goes for the 3DS too. That's just me. But
I got similar points to make, but they kind of run into some of our other topics.
Okay. All right. So we'll save it for later then. That works. Then, Donnie, why don't you go right ahead? Tell us what you've been playing.
Sure. Played the Breath of the Wild DLC. Got my Master Sword all charged up. Went and found all the cool, awesome gear. So I did that. Playing Nier Automata. Better?
Yes.
I'm at the end. I looked at a walkthrough. I'm at the end. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm at the end. It's really hard. I had to turn chips on. I feel sad to admit it, but I'll go ahead and admit it. Like I had to turn the automatic chips on because like I was getting crushed for a while. The other day I sat there for like 2 hours trying to beat a boss and could not. And I was like, all right, well, I'm either going to quit playing or I'm going to turn on these automatic chips that just kind of pull some combos for me because I was getting handed to me. I beat a game last week. It's not on my list, but I forgot about it because I beat it last week. But I beat Shantae on Switch.
Oh, nice.
And I'm a little upset to admit that it took me like 15 hours, according to the Switch thing. And I'm not sure if I let it on because that's been kind of a game that like it's been a lot of like pick up and play like sessions over a long time. That's like a 6-hour game. So
right.
Apparently it just took me a really long time. But yeah, I beat that and tweeted about it. And that was cool. And then the night before last, I played That Dragon Cancer. And I'm going to review it for the site, so I'm not going to spoil all of my thoughts about it. Has anybody heard or played this game? It's been out for a while.
Heard of it, but did not play it because I don't need to do that to myself.
I've also heard about it, but don't play PC games.
Okay, it's also a mobile game, so you can play on your phones or tablets. I didn't know that when I played it, but
yeah,
I was working on my review and I found that out, and I was like, that's interesting. I did record my entire playthrough. It's a really short game. It's on Steam sale this week. It's like $7. And like I said, I don't want to spoil my review, so I will save my entire thoughts. But I will tell you, it's the most emotional experience of video game I've ever had. I did capture and record with webcam, so you can even see me. I will post it to YouTube of me bawling my eyes out while I'm playing a game.
Oh.
I mean, it brought me to utter tears. And there's one other game, Walking Dead Season 1, that made me shed a tear. And that was like a tear. Like I got a little soapy in the eyes.
A little verklempt.
This game, there are several points across the game. I've already rewatched the walkthrough with my wife. Like I showed it to her because she didn't want to play it, but I wanted to. Of course, I had to show it to her. If you've got kids, I mean, it's touching, it's gripping. And there's several times in my Let's Play, like 2 hours, where I'm just like, I put the controller down, like I'm just like, like so. But you know, it's. For anybody listening out there, I don't want this to discourage you from playing it. It's not all utterly sad. It's a great message there, and it's very, like I said, it's just an emotional, very gripping experience. But you guys talk about some real life. I'm 48 hours away from hitting vacation.
Hey, there you
It
go.
is a much needed vacation. I haven't had one. It's been almost a year. And so next week, Kevin, you have the con. And I am heading off to the mountains, and I am unplugging. I'm turning my phones off. I am bringing my Switch only for one day, and that's the Splatfest. So I will play the Splatfest from vacation. That's my first day of vacation, Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So my first day, I'll play and record just for that. And then once that's done, all electronics go off. And I am secluded for 7 days. So Godspeed. Please don't burn the shack down. And,
there'll be an awesome Nintendo Direct while you're on vacay.
Oh, it probably will. Actually, there's a lot of you bring that up. There's a lot of rumors that this one's coming. Because they
really?
on the Nintendo Direct website, they opened up a placeholder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Okay. Ms. Caroline.
Mr. Kevin. All right. I have been got my Master Sword up to level 60. Woohoo! Had some real difficulty with the beginning trials, but beat the middle trials after one attempt, beat the final trials after one attempt. That took
That's so
of July
amazingly impressive.
Really?
It's so impressive.
No, but I failed the beginning trials like 5 times.
Even that's impressive. We'll get into it.
All right. Anyway, I'm hunting Koroks like I said I was going to. I think I'm up to like 250, maybe 300 out of 900. Oh.
I have 3. It's pretty great.
It's okay. You have plenty of game time left with that game. I have also been working away slowly at Ever Oasis. You guys can read my review. I'm working on 100%ing it just for the fact I wanted a 100% on a save file. Chipping away at ARMS. We got the Splatoon Splat test is what I'm calling it instead of Splatfest. So I ran around. I probably spent about an hour on there just looking around. It's like, oh, where can I see Inkopolis Plaza from here? Apparently somebody's already found the building that's actually in the original game that's kind of a link in between. So
do you know how to replay the demo?
I do not, but I think similar to ARMS, once the day hits, I think they're probably going to make it playable again. I've already kind of forgotten the controls. I've forgotten them from not having played Splatoon 1 so long, but also jumping is not X anymore, it's B, and that really screwed me up. So I am going to have to replay it.
I asked because I discovered that I jumped in, I created my character, played the little demo, ran on Inkopolis. That's cool. Wanted to give it to my son. He wanted to play the demo because he remembers on the Wii you could just play the demo over and over and over again. So he wanted to play the demo, and I couldn't because it jumped into my profile and it just goes back to Inkopolis. Jump into his profile. Catch this. You have to have a Nintendo Network ID associated with your Switch profile.
Oh, crud!
Or you can't even play the game.
Oh,
like
wow.
you can't even jump in the demo. It goes, you need to link an in ID to this. And I was like, I'm not giving my son an in.
Maybe they're going to reward people that
based on progress and records.
Yeah, progress on who knows. But I'm very excited. We'll talk about Splatoon 2 in a minute. And this is just we were talking about mobile. Disney Magic Kingdoms is a really great game. It's on mobile. If you don't have it and you're a Disney fan like me, you need to get it. Just because you basically create your own theme park and you collect as many Disney characters as humanly possible.
And you spend a lot of money doing it too.
You do spend a lot of money doing it. It's a freemium game, but it's the only freemium game that I have actually spent money on. And right now, the Lion King event is going on, ending July 31st. Nala comes out tomorrow. I've already got Timon and Pumbaa, and I bought Zazu. Rafiki's also available tomorrow. I'm loving it. Lion King's one of my favorites. It's one of those level up your characters as much as you can so you can build your kingdom up as big as you can. And very good for casual gamers, very good for Disney freaks. Go play it, get into the Lion King event while you can, because they only bring the characters back maybe once every 3 months, and you can only buy them with cash, and it's random which ones you will get out of the treasure chests.
If anything, most time you end up getting the decorations too, so you run a risk of that. But I do have to credit you. You got me back into it when you told me what they were adding, so I picked it up and started playing again.
Great. They did such a good job with the models. I'm very excited.
Yes, I'm just trying to get to that space where I can open the additional land in Frontierland.
I got it today. Bullseye.
You got Bullseye today?
Bullseye and the Alien is coming out after we get the event finished with.
Yeah,
also, they've created the Jungle Book characters that are coming out too. So
yeah, I saw that too. So it's probably enough Disney talk. We're just geeking out about it, guys. Don't mind us. But yeah, no, that's the only mobile game I've spent money on too, and it's been, you know, they get you. It's like some characters be like Zazu, he's $3, no big deal. And you're like, all right, cool. But then they drop, like, you get the whole set of one series of a movie, and like, here's the last character, and it's $10, and you're like, but then it's glaring at you if you don't have that one character. So yeah.
All right, it's downloading.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Did you really get it? Awesome.
Yeah. Nice. I do love me some Disney. So
it's fun. It's good.
It's good. Better than the horse game I was playing. So
yes, it's much better than the horse game. I know that for a fact. And it's good because you only have to like hop in like once every 4 or 5 hours to just be able to play. It's not like you need to sit there and grind through it. So
you set all your little characters on tasks, and they can range from a few minutes to several hours at night. Every night when I go to bed, I set them all on 8-hour tasks. So when I wake up in the morning, they're ready to go, and I get a bunch of magic.
I do the same thing. We're such geeks. Some gaming podcasts talk about like Clash of Clans or Hearthstone, and we're like, yeah, Disney Magic Kingdoms, y'all.
And I have to say that like the people that have done this, like they're very good about doing live streams. Like, here's what's coming up in our next update.
Yes.
But they are extremely good at writing the characters. The dialogue in some of these storylines are so funny.
Yep. And it fits the characters. It's not.
It really does. And some of them have the actual like Tim Allen actually does do some Buzz Lightyear voices. Yeah. But I wish they would kind of get a lot more, but some people are pretty expensive to do voice work for. But it's great. Everybody to get it. It's The Lion King. It's one of the best Disney movies ever made. Buy your little Simbas and your Nalas and stuff.
And then don't blame us when your kid picks it up and spends all your money, and then you send an angry email to Donnie, and you're like, you promoted this thing to let my kid buy all this stuff. And yeah, don't bother, because we don't have any money to share with you guys to pay it back. So too bad. All right, so I guess I'll go then. So besides Disney Magic Kingdoms that I'm not playing again, I too, because you, the listeners, voted and apparently hate me that much, I'm now playing Mass Effect Andromeda as well. I gave you guys the power to pick between that, Watch Dogs 2, Metal Gear Solid, and Mafia 3. And it kept being a tie between Metal Gear Solid and Mass Effect, so I actually had to take it to our Discord channel and offer it up there, which it then promptly and immediately went into a tie multiple times over and over and over again until finally, I believe Nathan was the tiebreaker and told me to go play Mass Effect. So I've been playing it. I'm not very far into it, to be honest. Same thing, very lowered expectations, so it's fine. I'm okay with it. Everyone makes, and even myself had made fun of the character models before, and right off the bat, as I created my much better looking and much more in shape version of myself, realized my hair would move on its own for no reason. And I think somebody told me, well, it's probably because it's a breeze. Well, I guess.
Space wind.
But if there's no air in space... But yeah, so that's a little weird. They still haven't fixed everything, obviously, but it's fine so far. Still playing Injustice 2 here and there because that's easy to just pick up and go with. Project X Zone 2, I'm still playing this. Every time I think I'm at the end of this game, I'm not. I'm pretty confident this is much longer than any Fire Emblem I've ever played. I'm 22 chapters in, and it's not at the end yet. And so, ironically enough, I've been spending more time on my 3DS than any other gaming console, which I thought I was done with it, but I'm not. Ironically enough, to the pleasure of Donnie, I was surprised today because this is a thing where you have Sega crossover, Capcom crossover, Bandai crossover characters. Chrom and Lucina or Lucia from Fire Emblem showed up today, playable in the game too. So that pairing came up
what?
on Project X Zone 2.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, so they showed up in the chapter I'm on right now, actually. So I was a little surprised there. So they obviously have some Nintendo characters in there as well. I mean, I'm not going to see Mario or Luigi jump out, but you know, it is what it is. And then, due to some good press, much to my surprise, I went ahead and pre-ordered Hey Pikmin today.
Yeah.
It's getting some really good vibes from people, which I expected it to get very bad ones, and most people did as well. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. So I did that. And much like any true gamer with a massive backlog of games, I went and actually bought 2 more games today at GameStop. So I bought Has Been Heroes for the Switch for $10 at GameStop because, hey, it's only $10. Why the heck wouldn't you? And then because it was on clearance as well, Monster Hunter Generations. So I'll continue playing on my 3DS. Then yeah, and then at the end of the month, I'll have Miitopia and Hey Pikmin as well. So my 3DS is not going anywhere, guys. So, yeah, that's it for me. So
I got that Hey Pikmin.
Yeah, I know you did. You want to talk about what you did?
Ridiculously cheap.
$6.
Yeah. God, why don't you tell that story real quick?
Before I do that, if you guys haven't known yet, we have people in the chat over on YouTube. And he's been giving me commands to do.
Oh, that's why you're dabbing and stuff.
I dabbed. He's like, do gang signs, stick your tongue out.
Gang signs.
So Dot Matrix Game is over here chatting with us. This is his first time, so he was just talking about the show, and we followed him on Twitter. So maybe we have a new follower. We'll see. Nintendo Guru is also hanging out, and Kevin, he's questioning that you're supporting Nintendo. It's shocking him.
I always support Nintendo. What are you talking about?
So anyway, Amazon is doing Amazon Prime Day or this week or whatnot, right? And
just yesterday, but yes.
Was it just the day?
Yeah.
Because I still getting Amazon Prime Day stuff like when I go over there. So anyway, you know, we follow so many accounts and all that jazz, and I was starting to get all these alerts. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Stand by, Kevin. You need to do some editing.
What?
You have the YouTube volume up, don't you?
I'm getting reverb.
I don't hear anything.
Like a lot of it.
I can hear it. It sounds like the YouTube. It sounds like the YouTube stream.
Yeah, but I don't have the YouTube stream up at all.
Interesting.
That's weird.
Let's see if it goes away. Kevin, mark time.
I'm here.
Looks like maybe 20 minutes or so. Okay, so we'll fix that. So Amazon Prime Day. Back to topic at hand. I got all these alerts the other night when it was going off that apparently there's all these price errors. Now, they weren't price errors. What it was is on Prime Day, if you are an Amazon Prime member, which I am, for another 6 days, because I'm canceling mine, let mine expire.
I don't think you should after all the deals you just got.
Exactly, right? So you get an extra savings discount at checkout if you're a Prime member. And it turns out, for some odd reason, with video games, you were getting like 4 of them. Mm-hmm. So like you'd get a $6 discount on a $60 game, and then all of a sudden you get like 4 or 5 of them, and all of a sudden it's $35 off the already discounted price. I snatched up like 7 games just for no reason. like as soon as I saw them, I was like, yep, buy. So I got Hey Pikmin for $6.06.
That makes me sick.
And that was before all the previews came out. So I was like, maybe I'll give it to the kids, maybe I'll sell it. And then all the previews came out, and I'm like, I'm going to play this awesome game. So that's even better. I bought Ever Oasis, which I wasn't planning on playing. I bought it for $12. I got Kingdom Hearts for $11. I got Dragon Quest Builders for, I don't know, $10. Like it was just ridiculous. I was just adding stuff to the cart at that point. Like and all kinds of people like Everybody's Golf was up.
Yep.
I got Rhyme for $4.
I saw that
PlayStation 4. And that's a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. And I was like, yeah, $4. It didn't get the best reviews, but I'll play it for $4.
I can't believe that the price is held up. Like that just is what makes me so
I don't know
mad.
why they didn't cancel your order. Like that's insane. They have every right to cancel it too, and they didn't. I was like, good on them, I guess. But
yeah, I mean they have that promise, right? They have a price match guarantee. Like the price that you buy the item at, is the price you'll get it at, and they have like this guarantee on their thing. So I think they like have to, because I mean I've done it before, never like that much,
No, that was a crazy amount.
Yeah, I bought 8 games for what was it, $41? Like I added it up.
You said it was 41, and like some of the games aren't even out yet. That's the crazier thing. Like
Brent, like so I moved the money from one game to another. We'll talk about later. Like I already had pre-ordered Miitopia. I got that was the other one. Yeah, I got Miitopia for like $14, like whatever I got Ever Oasis was, and I already had that one pre-ordered. And I was like, well, I just saved myself like $30. So yeah, that was good stuff.
Insane. Anyway, all right, so that wraps up what we've been up to. So let's jump into the news of the week. A lot happened, so let's get down to it and discuss. And we have some listener questions kind of woven into those news topics as well. So let's just jump right into the news. First one, Splatoon 2 had the direct last week. They showed a lot of stuff, and we have the sneak preview type event this weekend, this Saturday for 4 hours. The first Splatfest, which is Team Cake versus Team Ice Cream. We all know who's going to win that one.
Team Cake!
Yeah, nope. There's 3 out of 4 people here that believe on
just
ice cream.
Because you have popular vote doesn't mean it's the right vote. Doesn't mean it's the just vote.
No, because we follow the goddesses because why we're going to win.
You're the worst because you're literally voting not even for the contest. You're voting for the character behind the sign, which is not even...
I vote for the... I
can't vote for Billboard Forehead.
Like it's cake versus ice cream. That's the choice that you're making. You're not even making that choice. You're making a different choice, which is even the worst.
It's all about representation, baby.
So yeah, that's going to happen this Saturday. So it'll be a lot of fun to see what happens with that. It'll be July 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. Just download the free demo, which is already available now. You can already create your character and kind of walk around. And you can actually pick your team already and get the T-shirt that you get with the Splatfest anyway. So that's already up and running. On top of that, they covered a lot of stuff. They could show the different styling options. You'll be able to, of course, do shirts, shoes, and hats like you were able to in the first game. But now you can also change eye color, hairstyle, and skin tone when creating the character. So yeah, it just kind of gives more variety to your character. So it's not just the generic couple of cookie cutter characters. The whole street has a bunch of different shops. You have like a food truck going on. Yeah, it's just a lot more stuff. Amiibo ability is still there. You can save your character loadout to the Amiibo, take it on the go, play at somebody else's house. Just load it up with the Amiibo, much like it was in the first game. So that really wasn't a big surprise. I don't want to run down the whole list, but some of the bigger things, the main weapons, there's more different weapon types than there were in the first ones, which is interesting. It was a nice surprise because everything we had seen prior was kind of the same things: the regular guns, the big rollers, and then your sniper rifle type thing. But then they showed the different thing, the one that was almost like a roller sword hybrid type thing was shown.
Yeah, it has a longer range. I think that's what I'll play with. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. The special weapons, I was really surprised because they pretty much said all the special moves were all new. Like none of the ones from the first game.
They are, but they have their own like counterparts to the original game.
Yes. Yeah. So like
they're not that new.
No, but like the missile launcher, which is the one I always used, now shoots like 5 and they can attack the whole team. Yeah.
As I say, some of them are crazy new. Like one of them has a rain cloud that just rains paint down. Like that's pretty freaking amazing. And then that
superhero jump, that you do, and you turn to paint and you kind of bash on, blow up the whole area. So it looks like they're going for very much more like devastation instead of being like, oh, I'll take out one person. It's like, no, I'm gonna take out your whole team with this move now. Like it's kind of like an equalizer, if you will. So it's kind of cool. The hamster ball is kind of cool too. That fills up with paint and then just kind of explodes.
And blocks up the walls. Like more importantly, just platform over stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. I think it's going to add a lot more depth, and hopefully we just don't see the same things we saw if you played Splatoon 1, where it's kind of like, all right, here comes the whole team full of rollers. This is how this is going to go. And, it gives you more variety that hopefully people don't just cling to the same things. Because, ironically enough, I think the weapon I used more than anything else was the original NES blaster, whatever they called that. In the first one, I used that one all the time, and most people didn't after the novelty world. They're like, oh, that gun stinks, but it worked for me well. So, once again, they're going to continue doing post-launch updates. They said more stuff will keep going out for at least another year, such as even more new weapons. We saw the new umbrella-type weapon, which was kind of cool. Additional stages will be rolled out as well, and I'm sure new clothing options and stuff will continue to roll out. We learned a little bit more about things like Salmon Run. They're going to be doing league battles, which is kind of cool, so we'll definitely have to start a PSVG one. Team Cake versus Team Ice Cream, so Donnie can just continue losing.
I can't wait till you guys lose. You realize this, right? Didn't like the less popular team in like Splatoon 1 like generally win all the Splatfest?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure that
think
happened. I'm pretty sure it's a real
twice
thing.
it happened the other way.
Like the team that had the less amount of players typically won because it was based on like percentage, like based on odds.
Well,
So,
yeah,
like, even though
they nerfed that later on. They're like, oh, we can't just have a popularity contest. So they made it based on like number win percentage.
I mean, and it was always kind of stupid because there was always like everybody won. Like there was always like you won at this, but you won at this. Like this is more popular, but you won more of these matches. Yeah, it was always dumb like that. But I mean, I still think Team Cake's gonna win, obviously.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm not so worried about the whole Team Cake versus Team Ice Cream. I just want the real game to come out so we can just take you down then, because you can find 3 other people, and I'll play with Caroline and Jason, and we'll get Kyle. We'll get Kyle to play.
Apparently, I'm in Nintendo Guru's NWO now.
That's fine.
So,
I'm not scared.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Right. Ooh. Splatnet 2 was talked about, the Nintendo's online app, Switch Online, was kind of shown a little bit there, so we had our first glimpse at how this whole voice thing was going to work at. Still not ideal, but one thing I found interesting is that, okay, you have the Nintendo Switch Online app, and inside of that, there's a special Splatnet app inside there, so it looks like instead of it just being a Switch Online app that'll be used for all the games, they're actually going to have separate channels inside, probably depending on what type of game down the line. So that was a little interesting to see. That's going to launch on July 21st. Alongside with the game itself. So that obviously means during Splatfest there will be no voice chat because that capability won't be out anyway, so you just play the old-fashioned way. That's kind of all I really want to touch on, because we saw the different modes that's been talked about a little bit. You can watch the direct; it's still on there. Obviously, we definitely worth checking out. I'm way more excited for this game. I was excited anyway, but seeing the details made it seem like a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just going to be a mildly upgraded version of Splatoon. It's not really a sequel." No, they added a ton more stuff in this. It looks great. I thought the first one looked great, but then I saw the side-by-side comparison. This one looks even better now. So
that's all I could think about when I was watching the direct, Kevin, was when we first saw it, you were like, it doesn't deserve to be called a 2. It doesn't have, and this entire direct, you're like seeing them like all these new weapons, all this new gear. They were like skating across like the lines, like doing the Tony Hawk like rails. I was like, oh god,
yeah, that was awesome.
In a lot of ways, I'm a little concerned that the game's kind of like broken might not be the best word, but I'm like really concerned that it's about to get really competitive, because there seems to be just endless amounts of counters to everything else. Whereas before, like it kind of felt simple.
Mm-hmm.
No, everybody had basically like 4 or 5 weapon options and 4 or 5. Now it's just like a gambit. I'm like, oh no.
It's okay. Nintendo and their little Switch thing, they're pimping the esports.
Yeah, they really are. They're setting up everything. It's true. And you look at people who actually gave the first Splatoon a chance afterwards, they're like, this is a really great multiplayer shooter game for Nintendo. This is unique, and it's definitely different. And now it's like, okay, well, it still has that unique charm and that difference, but now it's also adding the features that you'd see in other competitive online gaming.
And the single-player stuff.
Yeah.
Like they showed a lot of single-player footage, and that looks kicked up a notch. You know, it looked like what we had before.
Yeah.
So you get like this Mario-style platforming with the shooting mechanic. And then it's just kind of like the intensity just turned up a little. You see there's a lot more enemies, there's a lot more paint, there's a lot more like rail slides, and like, so definitely.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. Yeah, that's the one thing I definitely wanted, was a better single-player mode, and it looks like they brought it this time.
And an awesome Save Callie story mode that we did not have before.
We think.
We're pretty sure.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of hinted towards that. They didn't really do well at trying to keep that a secret at all, but yeah. So Kyle, what are your thoughts? I want to get this now. So you're a Switch owner now. You obviously didn't play the first Splatoon. You did watch the direct, though. I know that for a fact. What is your initial thoughts, having not played it yet?
Well, I did download and play the little demo thing to see how it goes. So the interesting thing, for better or for worse, is the entire time I was watching the direct, all I was doing is drawing parallels between the weapons and abilities and supers and all that stuff that I saw people doing, saying, who would this relate to in Overwatch? Because that's what I know, and that's what I play.
Sure, yeah.
And there's actually a lot of parallels. There's a significant number of parallels in some of those things as far as abilities and things you'd see there. So that's what I was most like saying, okay, what here would fit my play style? I think, honestly, the hardest thing that's going to be for me to adjust to, I think the game was fun. Like, I'm looking forward to playing it. I think one of the hardest things for me is going to be getting used to playing a first-person shooter without having back paddles, because I use a SCUF controller for Overwatch now all the time, and I have for only a few months, but it's amazing when I go back to not using that, how hard it is to play games of that style, not having my jump and my left and right turn independent of each other, where I don't have to take my thumb off. So that's interesting. The fact that jump used to be on Y, X, Y, whatever it is, the top button, and is now down on B. Like, the fact that you guys played that like that last time kind of hurts my head.
Can you switch it? I mean, like, you can invert it, right?
Well, possibly. I don't know.
No.
I'm just saying on the previous one. Like, now that it's down there, it's great. Because, like, same thing when I was playing Zelda. They're like, you want to put this jump down here? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do, because I'm not a monster. So, yeah, I think that I think is going to be the hardest thing. I'm looking forward to playing it, though. I think it'll be a fun, way for me to play a game that I'm hoping will be a little less competitive than Overwatch is, because that's where I try to kind of scratch that competitive itch, and I'm looking forward to doing something a little bit different. Some of the stuff is super weird and bizarre to me, just the characters and the way that they talk and all. Like, whatever, that's cool. Nintendo's quirky and they do their things their own way, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to giving it a whirl. I think that there's a lot of depth to what they have shown and what they're purporting and wanting to do, which I think is really exciting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing it. I actually pre-ordered it, and I don't pre-order games very often. Nice. So I will definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of us.
I will definitely be in. I am happy to be the fourth, as long as you guys are a little patient with me while I learn, since I really have never played it
The Nintendo fever is
You can
spreading.
pick it up in a weekend, no problem.
Oh yeah, the matches are so fast, and like you said, I know you had some concerns with playing with people that you don't know. Because of the nature of Splatoon, it really doesn't matter, because every game is a dice roll as to what ends up happening. Yes, you can have your organized teams and say, okay, we're going to take on, we're going to take on Donnie and the Nintendo Guru. We're going to go after you guys. We're going to do that. Then yes, there's some strategy there with that. But the rest of the time you play in, it's like, here's a lobby. Here's these guys you're playing with. Half of them are in Japan, so you have no clue what's going on. Just run and go. And you got to figure out what you need to do and balance out what your partners are doing. So it's completely random. But I was going to ask, like, is this a day one pickup? So obviously it is, which is cool considering you haven't even
I think it should be.
Played it. Like, no, it definitely should be. But it's funny because you haven't even played it yet, and you'll get your first taste. Did you carve out some time on Saturday to play the Splatfest?
I do. I am planning on playing on Saturday. So
cool. And you picked the right team?
Which team?
Ice cream, of course.
Oh, Kyle, you too?
Yes. Totally team ice cream.
What did I do that deserved this type of...
Donnie, remember, I am picking it based off of just the two options, nothing else.
That's all I'm choosing too. I'm just choosing because I like cake.
Bad. If I pick cake now, I'd be doing exactly what you don't want me to do. I gotta go with where my heart is, man.
The cake is a lie.
Portal has taught us anything.
Yes. Guru confirms my suspicions in the chat. You can flip that. If you don't like it, you can flip it. Which I thought you could, which I wanted to bring up. You mentioned earlier about the controller with Zelda. Splatoon's an interesting one for me. Kevin, I'm going to say something weird. Tell me what you think about it.
You always say something weird.
So I've argued with you forever that the best way to play Splatoon is with motion controls. I'm still going to argue that. I think on the TV with the Pro Controller, the motion control gives you a competitive advantage. I think it's faster. However, I don't think I'm going to play with motion controls in portable mode. Because the other day I was playing the demo in portable mode, and I just don't like moving the screen around. Because I feel like I can't see as much because I'm turning like my field of vision. So it's like when I'm playing portable, I want the screen to stay right here. I don't want to turn this way and up here and this way, like I just right here. But when I'm playing with a Pro Controller, I'm not looking at the controller, right? I don't care if I'm moving it. It's fine. I'm looking at the TV screen, and the TV screen is staying stationary. I think it's cool, if you didn't know, that you can actually set up your control scheme based on if you're playing portable or on the TV.
Yes, I did.
And that's freaking awesome. So I think maybe at some point somebody was like me and they brought that up and they were like, well, we have to give them the ability to do either or, without having to change it all the time. So I thought it was a weird thing when I first discovered it. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to play this with motion controls on, because it's a lot. Like, it's just, I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's like flailing your hands around,
sweating.
Well, and that's actually why I was disappointed that I couldn't replay like the demo part, because I had played it handheld and I was like, I get what they're going for, but I don't really like doing this handheld this way. Let me try it with the Pro Controller with motion, and then I'm like, I can't figure out how to do that again. So that's why I think replaying the demo would have been a nice option, because I was like, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. So I went in and I changed my controls for handheld so that it's not motion control. But the Pro Controller, I'm like, well, I'm still going to start that way. We'll see how it goes. Because,
I think you should. Don't give up on it yet. I definitely I seriously contend that the best players that play Splatoon play with motion controls. Like the folks that do the esports and all that, like they play with it on and it's only the horizontal line, so it's not like up and down. So it's just like left right. So you get like it's like a quick twitch thing. It's kind of like Call of Duty's like left trigger but motion.
Right, and like I said, I don't want to stand on a soapbox and say, the best way to play it is with motion controls on or off, whatever. I don't care either way what other people do. For me, I despise the motion controls. I'm just so over motion since the Wii days that it just doesn't appeal to me at all. So the first thing, on the demo for Splatoon, I don't think even in the beginning demo you have the option to turn motion off. I think no matter what, they make you do the demo part in it. But the second, because I was looking for... You did? Because I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
I turned mine.
But I found it when I got to Inkopolis that I could turn it off. But then that's the first thing I did was I turned it off so it will save for when Splatfest starts. I'm going to have to mess with it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely try it either way, Kyle, because many people swear by it. But for me, nope. I'm way better with the motion controls off.
My second point I want to bring up about the controller. I don't like playing ARMS in portable mode. Like kind of like Kyle's.
I'm the
like,
same
I don't
way.
like playing
It's
ARMS.
impossible.
Like it's so strenuous, it makes my hands hurt. The other day I played with Lacy over lunch, and we played like, I don't know, 5 or 6 matches, and my hands were like seriously hurting at the end of it. I was constantly just like, just squeezing the switches. It's amazing I just didn't snap it in half trying to hit him. So, well,
it's funny you say you don't like playing ARMS in motion control in portable mode. I don't like playing ARMS, so I totally get exactly what you're saying. I mean, just
Kevin. I mean, I'm fine with that. I think ARMS is a good game. But I'm not nearly as high on it as Seth and Jason.
Oh, right. Sure.
Or probably even Caroline. I think Caroline and me, we've played it more than I have.
Yeah, me and Brian play it. So.
But I was kind of discussing, dude, I just get wrecked online. And Seth, he took a week off, and he said today that he gets wrecked online too. He's just like, and he took a week off, and he came back, and he was like really good. And he's like, I'm just going to have to keep practicing it. And to me, it's not that I don't think I'm good at it. It's that I don't think I'm going to play it enough to get that good at it.
Right.
Like, I don't want to play ARMS exclusively for 3 weeks. I have other games to play. Like I didn't buy ARMS to do that. Like, I bought ARMS to play with my kids and play with you guys, and that's it. Like, really, I'm not going to sit around and just play ARMS for 100 hours. So, it's just not down that path for me.
Right. Well, we do have a listener question about Splatoon 2. So Patrick Adams wrote in. He said, are we aware that Splatoon 2 early copies are out for a review? Spoilers are among us. Hide, run. Yes, I knew the review copies had gone out. I heard some rumblings of that earlier. I'm staying away from any spoilers. But everything I've heard is that, it's no surprise to me, it's really good. So I don't know, Donnie, were you aware of the rumblings?
Oh, yeah. And we even have friends in podcasts that have early copies, which I thought was really cool. Kevin, you didn't ask for one, did you? I didn't ask for one either because I was already buying the games.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I don't need you to review it. It's going to be good.
Yeah. How much can you really spoil? I don't know. I guess everybody...
Well, the story. That's about it. But
the story of Splatoon, the story?
Yes.
The climb the level to go beat the squid story? Like, come on.
What happened to Callie?
Game Explain has already been showing off what Marie says and single-player campaign.
So, and that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that I guess a fan of any series, if you're a big enough fan, can consider anything a spoiler, right? But, I think if you're a casual person from that Kyle crowd, like, maybe, you play demo, maybe you didn't play a demo, but, like, really how much of Splatoon can really be spoiled that you probably haven't already seen in the direct,
That was actually going to be my question. I didn't realize there could be spoilers for Splatoon 2. And I believe you, I guess, because there is story in Overwatch, but there's no single player campaign, but there's still story there. So sure, I guess, but I didn't realize I should be avoiding things.
Well, it might be different for you, Kyle, not having played the first one. You don't even know Callie and Marie, like other than you've seen them and stuff, amiibos and stuff, but you don't know, and you don't know the lore behind the first one. Yes, there's not a ton there. It was very shallow, but there was something there. And for me, you want to spoil all the multiplayer stuff, you want to show all the different weapons, I don't care, do that up. But the only thing I don't want to see anything of is the story, because I'm going to play it and I don't want to see it ahead of time. But that's with any game with me, so it's not anything different for Splatoon 2. But yes, the spoilers are out there, so if you are one of those people who don't want to hear anything, just stay away. But if you want a spoiler-free thing, everybody says it's great. So it looks like it's going to be, probably once again, it's a surprise, and nobody, I would anticipate reviews probably between 90s, 95 range for Splatoon 2, I would imagine. I don't know. I could be wrong.
see a lot of people going, it's very similar to the first game, and it's not as improved, so it gets like the 85 thing.
Okay.
I get to that. It looks a lot better. Did you guys see like the Digital Foundry
Oh my God,
breakdown?
it's beautiful.
Like, the visuals are much improved.
Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. Yeah, so that's probably it for Splatoon 2. So let's talk real quick. Just want to note because I always have to be.
Whoa! That's not all for Splatoon 2.
Okay.
Let me talk about what I got coming in. All right, I got all 6 big Splatoon squid cushions for the Splatoon 2 set to match my Splatoon 1 set coming late July. I've got a medium-sized Judd to go with my baby Judd. And
is this for your cat? Are you like making a Splatoon bed?
No, I'm making my stuffed animal army of cute. Judd has a little Judd friend. Those are coming out in August. And then my favorite is the big Judd head cushion and the little Judd cushion. It's just their heads, but if you pull it, you squeeze and their cheeks come out.
You pull on their heads?
No, you pull on their cheeks. You put like the pillow is made of like those foam beads.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
So they stretch. Super cute. And of course, I'm adding 3 new amiibo to my already collection of 8. Now we're done with Splatoon 2.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You're about to buy some amiibo? Where to buy amiibo?
No.
Like,
Donnie knows the guy.
I'm so gonna get kicked out of the shack. This isn't even funny. Like my time here has been so short. Who's Judd?
The cat. The cat is the judge.
He's the judge.
Wait, there's a cat.
Yeah,
there's a cat.
Cat Judd, the judge.
He announces the winners, basically.
He's the referee. He's like he's better referee, yeah.
Yeah, but now there's 2 of them. There's a big fat one and there's a little tiny one.
Named Lil Judd.
Yep.
All right.
Kyle, just sit there and take it. You'll
more into weirdness because everybody's a squid, but yet there's cats because that makes sense. But yeah.
No, spoiler alert. If you hadn't played the first game and you didn't unlock everything, you find out that Judd was cryogenically frozen from our time and made it all those years in the future to the squidlings and the inklings.
Why did they cryogenically freeze a cat?
Because he's special and can talk.
And he can referee ink matches.
Okay.
Yep. He's the only one.
Wow. This has really gone in a direction.
Yeah.
So anyways,
don't hate on my novelty items.
Kyle, Splatoon is great, especially in short bursts. And Jason and I are already talking. We're going to sync lunch schedules. So if anybody wants to play with us, tweet at us. We're going to try to play over our lunch breaks like every day. So bring your Switch to work. And if we can all take lunch like around the same time, like we can boot up. It's real easy. You can get 5, 7, 10 matches in like 20, 30 minutes. It's a piece of cake. So
yeah.
Sweet.
So more to come as far as that's concerned. So, all right, next news topic real quick because I always have to bring up Injustice in one way, shape, or form. SubZero dropped yesterday. So if you have the season pass or you have the first character pack, you can download him now. There is a special multiverse event as well. If you don't have him, you can try him for free. And if you do have him, you unlock some additional gear and exclusive stuff for SubZero if you complete the event as well. I did download SubZero, played a little bit with him today. I was not excited for him at all. I'm kind of one of those guys who are like, SubZero isn't a DC comic book character. He kind of doesn't belong here. He fits very well, and he's a good, balanced, quick character. So if you like the fast characters, he's right up there. Very unique moveset, cool special move. And ironically enough, even though Injustice doesn't allow you to kill people despite the extreme violence that is in that game, there's a little nod to Mortal Kombat with SubZero. So if you've ever played or seen Injustice, at the end of the battle, the winner kind of always has like this little ending animation where like he'll come up to the screen or like punch the screen or say something. SubZero comes up to the screen and you're watching it from the perspective of the person he just beat. And he picks the person up, and you only see it from his face. You're looking at his face, and you hear the and you see the camera drop, mimicking SubZero, if you remember from the first Mortal Kombat, where he rips the person's head off and holds the spine. So it's kind of insinuating that he does that to his opponents after he beats them, which is a little cool and a little bit darker than what they've done so far. But really cool character. Try him out for free if you have Injustice 2 and you don't have a season pass. If you do have a season pass, what are you waiting for? Go play him. Josh downloaded him like as soon as he was available yesterday at 11 a.m. and within 12 hours, Max leveled him up to level 20. I don't have a single character up to level 20 yet, and this guy did it in a day. Yeah.
None? Man.
I jump around. I don't play the same character.
You got to play more video games, man. Like you gotta start finding some time, play some video games.
I play them. I just jump from character to character. So I have like 4 or 5 or 6 people to like level 15. I just never said I'm gonna stick with this one person to get to 20 yet. I'm trying.
That's cool. I didn't know you could level them up. That's neat.
Yeah, you can level them up, and then they can wear certain gear and make them stronger or faster or have more health. It's kind of a balancing act with that game. It's not just, oh, you're Superman and you just learn to get good with Superman and you'll be fine. It's like, no, you can counteract and have your guy equipped with like kryptonite armor, which makes you stronger against Superman. So it's like it's all balancing act to make it more breathe more life into it, make it last a little bit longer. Kyle, did you play SubZero at all?
I haven't downloaded. I've not played him yet. So, and I only have one character to level 20, which is Supergirl. So
Supergirl, that's right. So yeah, so that's it. Go get him. Let's jump into now because I think the rest of the stuff we have is kind of fairly quick. Let's jump into the Zelda DLC talk. Kyle and I will go get a beer because neither one of us have played the Zelda DLC. Although you guys keep talking
about it. Yeah,
I think I'm probably going to end up getting it. But the thing is, like, at this point, it's like, all right, Splatoon is out in like a week. I have those 3DS games coming. I don't know how much time I'm going to spend in the Zelda DLC, but it is out. Numerous people have played it. Why don't you and Caroline talk about what you guys liked and kind of what's in that pack that you guys have already, and just your thoughts on it. Take it away.
Barring Splatoon, the Zelda DLC already, Pack 1 Zelda DLC, the stuff that's already out, is worth your $20 and worth your time spent playing more than those 3DS games are.
Yes.
Thank you, Caroline. That DLC Master Trial, Kevin, is something. It's something pretty serious. Like Caroline, when I first started it, I was ready to fling my controller through the window, which I tweeted, and it got like hella retweets. If you guys didn't see that, you got a lot of action this week. But I think I just jumped in early, and I think a lot of people kind of, sympathize with that because unlike the game Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you can really tackle situations as you want, and there's like some spamming the game that can be done. Like you can game the game in certain areas if you kind of like know how to, use the game system against itself. With the Master Trial quest, you really can't. Like you have to learn how to beat the level or you're going to die. And the thing that made me angry the most is when you die, you start over. Now there's like plateaus. Yes, all over. There's plateaus. So the first one you got to go through what, 12 or 14? I don't remember because I did this like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it is 12, and they have one rest level.
Yeah, and I think the second one is also like 12 or 14, and then the third one's like 24.
No, it goes 12, 16, and then 24. I think
that makes better sense.
They add a little bit more each time.
So Kevin, on the second batch, because I jumped in early, I really feel like I got in like right away because even Jason, like I was ahead of everybody for a while, and Jason gets in, and I'm on the second trials, and dude, I'm dying on like. If it's 16, I'm dying on like level 10 over and over again. I probably did that. Like, I'm so amazed that Caroline here is like, yeah, first time, just right through. Because I can't tell you, I probably played the second trials like 10 times. Like, it made me so angry that I had to keep playing it over and over and over again.
I failed it once, and I think I did fail it on either floor 11 or 12.
And you got to go all the way back.
I mean, it was literally the one right before I knew that I was going to get a rest level.
Yeah.
And I was so mad.
So I always call myself the casual gamer just because I don't like get into like hardcore modes. But in this aspect, I feel like I'm the modern gamer. Because when I was tweeting about it, people were like, oh, games used to do that all the time. And I'm like, oh, it's 2017. Games don't do that anymore. Like, there's a reason why games don't do this anymore. Like, imagine if you played the first 30 levels of Mario Bros. And you died and you went all the way to the back to the beginning. Like, it's just terrible. I was like, this is awful. Why can't I play the level that I'm having? Because the better way to explain it, the shorter way to explain it, Kevin, is you have to learn how the level wants you to beat it.
Yes.
And when you learn it, like when I beat it, when I finally beat the entire thing, that last run, I was like, that's not so hard. But it's the 12 tries to learn all the tricks to every stage along the way that got me to that level. Like every stage kind of has like a mechanic or a skill that it wants you to exploit. And if you don't know that, or let's say you play, because in a lot of ways, like, I know this is going to sound really stupid. I've played Zelda Breath of the Wild for over 200 hours. At no point in that game did I know you could shoot a Guardian with just a regular arrow and stagger it.
Yep.
It wasn't until this trial that I found that out. Like I never did that. Like I froze it with my the kinesis or whatever it's called. I don't know, the one you can just freeze it.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I froze it. Stasis, yeah.
Yeah, stasis. So I froze it with stasis, and then I hit with the Master Sword, cut its legs off. You know, I shot in the eye with like Guardian arrows. Like at no point did I know you could just shoot with a regular arrow and it would just stop shooting lasers. I never knew. I never tried. It never dawned on me. I played the game for 200 hours, had no idea that happened. Then I'm sitting there trying to beat the Guardian in the second stage of the trial DLC, and I can't do it. And I swear to you, it was like Jason Lacy was like my angel. Because I seriously was ready to quit. I think at some point, I think I uttered the words to Jason, you know what? I think I'm fine with just a 50 level sword. I don't need this. Like, I don't need this badge of honor. I don't know why I keep doing this anymore. And Jason goes, well, I'm going to start playing, and you're playing it. So, like, why don't we jump on, insert plug here, our Discord. Everybody on our website, we have a Discord plugin. You come join. We don't charge anybody to come join our Discord. You can chat with us whenever you want. We chat all day long about video game stuff. So we jumped into the voice chat on Discord, and we literally just played together. We just sat there and just played Zelda together. We talked about each other through each stage, and it was great. One of the best like online experiences I've had in some time. And you know, there was one point where I was ahead of him, and the second point, like he got ahead of me, and then like we were giving each other tips on how to get through. And he was like, "Yeah, just shoot it with an arrow, and it'll just like stagger." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you just shoot it in the eye with an arrow." Just like he was like, "Jump, freeze time, shoot it in the eye with the arrow, and it'll stop shooting at you." And I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, how did I play this game for 200 hours and I not know that? It never, like I said, it never dawned on me. I just never did that. That's not how I took on Guardians. So anyway, I played that DLC for at least 20 hours. And that's a lot of hours for some DLC, like, at least for me. I know, Kevin, you were like, well, obviously you've never played Fallout. You're right.
I was just busting it.
But I mean, for me, that was a lot of time played. And considering that I only paid $20 for that DLC, and there's more coming.
There's more, yeah.
That's the thing. There's more coming.
$10 and 20 hours is what you said.
Oh, it's $20 for the DLC, right? The pass.
Yeah, the pass is 20. So I mean, like, if you're saying DLC pack 1.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
$10. You're getting 50 cents per hour.
And then the second coolest thing about this, and I know Caroline's going to disagree with me, so Caroline, just hold, and then I'll give it to you, and you can tell me the opposite. Right. The second coolest part about this DLC is Majora's Mask, because I got it. If you guys don't know, when you find Majora's Mask, Kyle, to be honest with you, I honestly wouldn't be opposed to you even doing this in your first playthrough, because I think it'd be awesome to hear somebody that did it. When you find Majora's Mask, you can just walk amongst enemies. And like they just think you're a bad dude. You just walk right into their camp, and it just sounds like such a cool way to play the game, where everybody just thinks you're like one of them, and then all of a sudden you bust out some ninja stuff and beat the snot out of everybody. To the point where I went to go get the Wind Waker armor, and there's a Guardian protecting the chest, or not a Guardian, a Lionel protecting the chest. I just walked up to him, and he's just staring at me like, "Who's this dude?" I just walked over, grabbed the chest, and left. Like it's like the most uneventful. It's the most uneventful Lionel experience you find. You're just like, I'm just gonna walk up and I'm just gonna, that's awesome. I went and found that mask for my son, who's played the game for over 30 hours. He still hasn't beat one dungeon. He only has like 7 shrines. He's literally just, I cast him off into the wild. I'm like, figure it out, you know, because
go forth with my son.
Yeah, I want him to experience it, but. I went and found him this mask. He only has 4 hearts. I was like, I'm going to go get him this mask. And it'll just open up the world to him a little bit more. And he's been playing Zelda nonstop for 2 weeks. Every day when we get home, the Switch isn't mine anymore. It's his, because now he has this Majora's Mask. He can go do things that he couldn't do before. And he's found an all new, like, fun, you know, thing about the game. So this $20, Kevin, I'd put it right there with neck and neck Mario Kart 8 DLC in terms of value. It's totally worth it. I'm a big fan.
That sounds fair. And so before I throw it to Caroline for her thoughts, I just want to point out though, Donnie, with that being said, I'm liking everything you're saying. I love the amount of content that's there. But for somebody who didn't even go and bother to get all the memories, barely got any Kakarot seeds, did less than half the shrines, is it worth it for me to go and do this?
I think so, and the reason I say that because for somebody who played 200 hours, it taught me new stuff about a game that I didn't think could. Additionally, it was such a challenge that I felt a great amount of appreciation when I actually did complete it. And I think, I messaged in the Discord because Jason beat me. Damn it, did Jason beat me to the end. I wanted to beat him to the end. Like, we weren't racing, but I think subconsciously he knew, like, we were both racing because we were, and I wanted to get there. I wanted to beat Jason Lacy at the end, and he beat me by like 4 hours. He beat the thing before I did. Like, he posted that morning, and I beat it that afternoon. I was so upset. But he's better video gamer than me. I just come to learn that Jason Lacy's better at video games than Donnie Reese is. That's fine. But when I reached the end, like when I got the Master Sword, I was like, no, that's really cool. Like, I'm proud of it. Like, if there was an achievement for it that I could like have on my profile forever, like I'd be proud of that achievement because I felt like I learned something and I accomplished something. And plus, Kevin, like it actually, in a lot of ways, it's kind of fun. It's in a lot of different, the better way of putting it, in a lot of different ways, it's a lot of fun. I don't want to spoil it.
No, don't, especially because Kyle hasn't played.
Right. But at the end, dude, there's a moment where you're like, what the I mean, it really ramps up, and it's fun. It's great.
Should I bother even going to that island where you pretty much do that whole thing? Because I still haven't even done that yet.
Oh, Eventide Island has.
So like this is that quest turned up to like 10. Like it's the same thing. But yeah, you should definitely do it.
All right, Caroline, floor is yours. What'd you like about the Zelda DLC? And anything maybe you didn't like?
I liked beating it. So I went ahead and I just got all the costume pieces first. We got all my armor, got my Phantom set, got my Tingle set, even though I hate it. Got my Majora's Mask and got my Korok Mask. Got my travel medallion. Then I was like, all right, time to buckle down. Might as well just get this sword thing over with. At one point, I almost wanted to get my money back because I'm like, I am not paying Nintendo for me to be pissed at their game. I don't remember if it was the beginning trials or if it was I think it was the first time that I failed the middle trials. I'm lying on the couch. It was a very placid Monday afternoon. I was out of work. Husband was on the couch with me. The kitty cats were asleep. I died right before I got through this Guardian mess. It wasn't even like a Guardian. It was one of those Guardian Scouts. It was like Guardian Scout 4 that had like the 3 weapons on it. I get the thing within 5% of death. And he lasers me from behind a column. I screamed the F word just out of nowhere. Shattered the silence the husband jumped, the girls jumped. It was I had to go and just sit in the bathtub and chill out. I don't think I finished playing it until July 4th when I was finally like, I'm cool, I'm chill, I'm gonna do it. For next time I picked it up, beat the middle trials, no problem. Was over at my parents' house for the 4th, brought the Switch along, tried playing through the final trials. I was accruing ancient arrows, and I was like, oh my god, they're giving me some stuff that I can really use. First Lionel I get, and by the way, I'm going to say this for people that haven't beaten it. If you are on snow levels, you need to go around and melt some ice blocks because there are some treasure chests in there, and I'm just going to say they really, really help you. Just make sure you stock up on your spicy food to keep you warm long enough to melt everything. When I get to a stage with a Lionel, I don't have time for that. I'm still not good at killing Lionels. Stage 1, it was just a Lionel and 1 ancient arrow to the face. Boom, done. I'm through the next level. I think it was the very last level on the final trials, and they throw like all these bokoblins on horseback at you.
Oh, I was saving that. I said no spoilers.
I'm just saying it is insane. And there's a Lionel right in the middle of it. And I'm just like, oh my dear God.
Okay, she already spoiled. Yeah, Kevin,
Ancient
the last level,
arrow to the face.
You get charged with a Lionel and like 15 bokoblins all on horseback, and they're all just right.
And there's a guardian scoping you from up top in the back of the area. And it's
as soon as you start the level, it's just raining down upon
everybody right there.
And if you die, Kevin, you go back 24 levels.
Yeah.
So you're not talking me into it. You're not talking me into it very much, guys.
No, you know what? As soon as I saw what was going on, I was like, bow out. I got 4 ancient arrows left. If I miss one, I'm good.
As soon as I started, I was like, pause screen, get ready for what's about to happen. Emotionally prepare yourself.
And it's like a silver Lionel too. It's not even like it's not even the baby Lionel. I think you get like a baby Lionel in the first one.
Yeah, those guardian arrows, you get them as you play through. You better hold on to them. Don't use them like.
Don't use them unless you have to. Oh my God, saving grace. It was a real sense of accumplishment once I beat everything.
It was. And Kevin, if I can do it, dude, I totally know you can do it. I'm like the worst gamer here, so.
You are. No. But I did beat you. You didn't look at my Twitter. I don't know if I beat Jason or not, but I beat it.
According to you, you did. Yeah, according to you, you beat everything.
I beat it some point on July 4th, like in the middle of the day.
I believe you beat everything.
Yeah.
Really? For somebody, I swear to God, I was so angry trying to get through the beginning trials. I'm like, how is this so hard?
Yeah, I felt that way too. That's the part that's hard to overcome. Like you have to get over because you think you're good at the game, right?
Yeah.
Like you get in and you're like, I beat this game. And then you get wrecked and you're like, what's going on? Why am I losing in this game that I played so much?
It's exactly like we talked about, I think, when we were doing our E3 podcast. You had to relearn game mechanics. I was like, why is, I forgot that I could flurry rush somebody.
How many times did you throw a weapon?
I don't throw weapons much anyway, but
I threw a bunch by default, by mistake, thinking that I was getting ready to throw a bomb. So like I'd hit like L and R real fast, but the L didn't create the bomb, so I just throw my weapon. I'm like,
there goes Master Sword.
Why did I do that? So like that really bothered me. Like when my first hour with the game, I was throwing weapons around. I was like, oh, you don't even look like you even know how to play this anymore.
Yeah, I felt like a blithering idiot trying to play it. Within the first, because we downloaded on Friday, and I think Friday evening going into Saturday, I was just like, I give up. You know what? Like I said, I wanted to make Nintendo give me my money back because I was pissed.
I think a lot of people were. The Korok Forest. I wanted to bring this up, and I'm so glad I remembered. The Korok Forest, where you go to start the trial, Kevin, you have to go back to Deku Tree. Yeah. Still runs like absolute garbage on TV, which is why I still play on handheld. It gets so choppy over there. I'm like, why? And they've got all this lush grass. I'm like, take the grass out at this point. Just make it flat. Like, God, it goes from like 30 frames a second, like 13 frames a second. It's just like chip, 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 chip.
If that, yeah.
Oh, dude, it drives me nuts. It's so bad. Either fix it already or fix the problem with it already. I feel like they're just like, it's fine. They can deal with this frame rate. It's great.
We got our review scores. It doesn't matter what they say now.
We already got your money.
Greatest game of all time. So many 10s.
Oh, Dot Matrix says it's choppy on handheld. I don't agree.
It is pretty choppy. As somebody that plays handheld, I play handheld. It's probably about 20 FPS.
Every time I restarted that quest and I went through on handheld, like it ran fine. Like I ran right up to the spot and put thing in and no problem.
It depends on where you're coming in from, though. If you're coming in from,
I'm coming in from the shrine.
Okay, I am too. And when I make that turnaround, there's just a lot of vegetation, tree, whatever you want to call it.
Maybe I didn't experience it, or maybe I just didn't notice it as much on handheld. I don't know, but on handheld, it seems better.
It's definitely there.
Okay.
You know what? That's the only place that I have issue with frame rate.
That's it. It's that area, and it's because they've got all this stuff going on, and it's like, just take it out. Just make it better like the rest of the game. Just take it out. Why do you have this blemish on such a great game?
Honestly, I don't know if it's all of the trees and stuff. I think it's the special lighting effects that they have in that area.
The fog and
or
stuff.
the Master Sword.
Which they could just get rid of, and it's not going to
take it out. Yeah, you were just making my point.
Once you get your Master Sword, everything just needs to dissipate. It just needs to be normal light.
Just kill the Deku Tree. It's okay.
No.
All right, so we'll see. Maybe eventually I'll get around to that, but I still don't think it's gonna be anytime soon for me. Not because I don't see the value in it, because I definitely think you guys have made a case for that, just time-wise.
Well, no. Let me just point out: if you have not gotten all the memories yet, what is wrong with you? And
I had to beat the game. I had to beat the game in time for a review cast.
Kevin played the minimal Zelda Breath of the Wild experience. Like he's in and out of this game like 60 hours. Like
that's
actually it was less than that. I think it was less than
that.
Oh, I got the bare minimum hearts to get the Master Sword, and then from there I just streamlined the rest of the game.
Boom.
Boom.
If you're doing a speed run, I understand that, but there's no excuse.
If you're doing a speed run, you better get it done in 36 minutes, or you're way behind.
I was I kind of had to. It was just like, hey, we got to do a review cast for this, Kevin. You better wrap it up. So
I feel bad, Kevin. I feel like it ruined your Zelda experience.
No, I love the game. I have no problem with it. But yeah, I didn't go back to the memories. Partially because too the memories. I do want to get the memories. Cause I want to know the full story. So Kyle, pay attention to the memories. Not gonna spoil it, but get the memories.
Okay.
Because that's you don't get the real ending unless you get the memories. I'll say that much. But the thing for me is finding the memories. There needs to be a better process in guiding you to find the stupid things, because merely having this picture and talking to the painting guy saying, oh, it's somewhere that way. Okay, 70% of the god darn map is that way. It doesn't help me at all. So it got to the point that I'm like, I don't want to sit there and find the landmark tree to find the memory for this 30-second clip that just makes me angry. So it's fine.
In Kevin's defense, a lot of my detractions in the game and the various review casts I did was that I think it's much easier to just watch the memories on YouTube and go find them. I found them because I wanted to, but I mean, I can't fault anybody. It's like, you know what, I'm just going to be at the game and go watch my YouTube.
Or what you can do is you can get the guide like I did, which comes out with a big, nice fold-out map. And it pinpoints exactly the location of where they are on the map.
Or you could just watch the 20 minutes of it on YouTube for free.
No.
There's no achievement system in Nintendo. Nobody knows the difference.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to. I got the guide, Carol. Like I got the guide too, but yeah, Kevin or Kyle, just watch on YouTube.
Oh, you get such a nice feel of like. I don't know.
We disagree. Man. We disagree on the sense that, and I'll make one point to counter your argument. Like I got them all because I love the game and I wanted to have all of it. So I agree with you there. But you can't guarantee that Kyle will get them in order. And if he gets them in like some weird order, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense anyway.
I didn't get them in order.
I know that, and that's like the weirdest thing is that you get these pieces that you have to put together in your own head. It's like, I think it just makes a lot more sense. You just watch them on YouTube in order. You're just like, oh, well, that's great.
But you can go and actually look at them in order. They have them chronologically where you can look at them later.
I know that.
Like, oh.
But I don't think that's the best way to play this game. Like, especially seeing the hero map, like where you went.
Yeah.
The best way to play this game is, Kyle, if you're asking my opinion, the best way to play this game is go get lost, dude. Just go do stuff. Like, don't use a guide. Don't worry about the memories. Don't do any of that. Just go play Zelda and see what happens. That's the best way to play this game.
Don't you want to help an amnesiac, though?
Who?
Link. Oh, he has all these forgotten memories.
He's so lonely. He doesn't remember anything. All he knows how to do is that sword, and I know how to use it.
There's a big Calamity Ganon going around that's a little more pressing than my memories right now. Just saying. Hey, look at this horrible thing. Zelda can't hold on much longer. I'll be there in 100+ hours. What? That doesn't make any sense.
The Terrytown quest alone is better than the memories, in my opinion.
Oh, Terrytown was so great. Yeah. We're talking about like just Breath of the Wild in general.
Well, see, I'm going to make Coach Mo really happy right now. How do you know Link doesn't have those memories? He doesn't talk. Maybe he remembers everything, and everyone's just like, "You don't remember anything." And he's like, "Yeah, I do."
Maybe he's just a mute. He can't tell anybody. Like people are like, "Do you remember this?" He's like, "Of course I do." He just can't.
I'm gonna make Coach Mo happy
He's
too.
like, how do you think I know how to use all these powers and stuff?
And the only thing to shoot down your stance, Kevin, is that in the game they mention that he doesn't know. It's like
Yeah, how do they know?
He's forgotten all of this.
He didn't tell them.
I'm gonna make Coach Mo happy too. Madden.
Just Madden.
Boom.
He's not with us tonight on chat, but whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll listen in, and he'll be streaming it at GameStop, so it's all good. All right, let's move on to some other news topics. So, guys, October 27th. It sucks and it's great at the same time because there is so much stuff going on, and we're gonna this may or may not please Donnie, but we're gonna tread on a little bit of that's entertaining and like flux the pose territory here.
That's fine. I don't care.
Okay, and I'm gonna go over everything that happens on that day that you should be paying attention to. Number one, this is now happening a little bit earlier than premeditated. Was Stranger Things season 2 comes out that day now instead of Halloween? It comes out then. So obviously you need to binge watch the whole darn thing in one day because otherwise
before
it's
October 28th. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be spoiled online for you otherwise. But and I recommend going back and watching it again before you hit October, to get back to it. But I'm so excited for that. So that's coming out that day. So that's just one thing. All right. Super Mario Odyssey. Duh. I think we're all looking forward to that one. So that's going to be on that day. Assassin's Creed Origins. Whether or not you like Assassin's Creed, this one does look pretty good. That game launches on that day too. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus also launches on that day too. Then back on the movie type thing, I didn't know about this until today, to be honest. Cloverfield's getting a sequel.
Yes.
I had no idea.
You're joining my horror ranks, man. Like, this is a great year for horror films.
Dude, I love the original Cloverfield. And I did even back then, as much as people mocked it, I was like, dude, this movie was great. It was so much fun. It was different. Growing up as a Godzilla movie monster kind of kid, that this was the modern version of that, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see that that's coming out on this day, supposedly. And then also on the horror thing for Donnie, I don't know if you've been a fan or not, but Saw is coming back, and Jigsaw, even though 7 years ago they told us Saw 3D was the last Saw, they're doing another Saw. So yeah, all that stuff is going on in one day. I mean, shoot, the movies I won't see right away, especially not Jigsaw, because I don't care too much about that. The Saw movies for a while have just been kind of like rentals down afterwards for me, just to kind of see them. Cloverfield I do want to see for sure. Stranger Things I'll be binge watching. But then as far as gaming, Wolfenstein 2 and Super Mario Odyssey, I think both day one pickups for me. Even though I'm not going to be able to play them both at the same time, I'm still probably going to get them both on the same day. So what are you guys excited for on that list? Kyle?
Oh, man. Stranger Things 2 for sure. Really enjoyed Stranger Things, so definitely going to be looking forward to Stranger Things Season 2. I also am a big fan of the original Cloverfield. I saw that movie in the theater. And I really enjoyed it, no matter how much fun other people made of it. I also really enjoyed 10 Cloverfield Lane. So that was an excellent flick as well. So I'm really excited that they're kind of building out this whole universe. So yeah, that's on there. I don't know if that'll be a go to the theater thing because I don't think my wife would go, but I will watch that movie at some point. Jigsaw, I'm not a huge horror fan. Like, I'll watch a few horror movies here and there. Not really, and I mean, I'm never going to watch that in the theater. Might rent it if it was super cheap or I got it for free sometime, but not a high priority. Games. So here's the hard thing. Wolfenstein 2 is the game I was most excited about this day. Now I have a Switch, so now I have to evaluate my desire for Mario Odyssey. I've always preferred 2D Marios to 3D Marios because I'm old. It's just kind of like what I prefer. But here, this is so stupid. I was interested in Assassin's Creed Origins, but it was number 3 of those 3 games for me.
Sure.
But then I watched more trailers and more gameplay and saw that they have hippos in it. And hippos are my favorite animal. I never really paid attention. I love hippos. So now I'm like, man, what other games have hippos in them? So I feel like I have to get Assassin's Creed Origins because I need to go check out and like feed
for hippos.
Yes,
$60 for animated hippos.
Do you realize that they are murderous?
They're awesome. Yeah, they'll kill you. They'll murder a foo. They don't care.
And when they poop, they spin their tail and kind of throw it everywhere.
It's everywhere. They're my favorite animal, bar none. So I know that's a really silly reason, but it really actually increased my desire to play that game.
You realize that Mario Odyssey has a lot of 2D moments, right?
Yes, I do realize
Okay.
that. For sure.
Okay.
No, absolutely. And like I said, I think the 3D Mario games are still great. I just prefer the 2D Mario games. So, yeah, I mean, I think almost everything that is coming out that day I am interested in, which acquisition disorder, that's me, other than probably Jigsaw. Everything else I will want to consume in some way, shape, or form.
Yep, I'm with you. Caroline, what are you liking on October 27th?
I don't do horror films, guys.
What?
No, I'm a girl. I'm scared.
Wait, what?
No, I just okay. I really
Donnie, do you know this?
I have really bad anxiety, and so things like that unnecessarily rile me up really throw me into a panic attack.
Does Brian like horror movies?
No, he's not a movie person in general. My sister, she's obsessed with them. She loves them. I've never seen Stranger Things either. Cloverfield actually made me sick when I watched it.
No.
I can understand. Hold on.
Podcast. Caroline, you and Brian watch Stranger Things before your next podcast. That is a PSVG order.
You watch it tonight.
Yes, it is so good. Like the best show on Netflix.
I need to know what it's about before I even think about
a bunch of kids, some horror stuff. There's like maybe a ghost thing. Don't worry about it. Just go watch it. It's great.
Don't play up the horror aspect. It's not really horror.
It's really not. Yeah, it's more
Caroline,
sci-fi.
were you a fan as younger of like Gremlins and the Goonies and stuff like that?
Sure, yeah.
You absolutely love Stranger Things. It's just it's reimagination of that type of thing.
Okay, like the 80s creepy genre. Okay,
exactly. It is amazing.
All right. So good. Well, I'll have to add it to my stuff. We're actually watching old anime right now, but anyway. What was the other stuff?
Mario Odyssey.
Oh yeah, the games.
Kind of what we do here.
Wolfenstein, I don't really care for.
Video Netflix.
And Assassin's Creed, I don't have the console for, even though I adore ancient Egyptian stuff, and I think the game looks awesome. I think that the Egyptians worship cats for a reason, so cats are better than hippos. Sorry, Kyle.
No, not cat versus hippo fight. Let's go. Even it could be lions. It doesn't matter.
As I say, it depends on the type of cat you're.
Yeah,
wait a second. There's some pretty bad cats in this world.
Cats don't get in the water, so there's really no contest.
I watched a jaguar kill an alligator in the water once, like on YouTube. That's
in real life.
No, that's a legit thing that happens. And like when you see a jaguar like carry an alligator like out of the water, you're like, oh my god.
I've seen that video. It's not a jaguar. I think it's a leopard. Jaguars are actually very small.
Whatever. It's
yeah,
one of those spotty cats.
You guys don't have little kids, but if you watch The Lion Guard, you'll know that the hippo is part of the Lion Guard from Lion King, and he beats up hyenas all the time. So, and he's actually friends with the lion and a honey badger, so it all works out.
I'm a Disney freak.
Well,
and I don't have children, but I watched The Lion Guard.
Really, it's not that good. You watch that?
It's it as a big fan of Lion King 2, unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
I'm just really like, where does kid factor into anything that was going on? Like, they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, there was some other little kid that they had. Did he die? Did he go off somewhere, get exiled, or that's a whole other story. We could do a Disney podcast and I would never shut up.
Let's start doing that.
Yeah. Hey, if they put the Lion Guard into the Disney Magic Kingdoms game, I would not complain. Cats are better than hippos.
What a show.
Super Mario Odyssey is going to be what I'm doing that weekend, and watching the Georgia-Florida game because priorities.
There you go. So Donnie, I think we kind of already know what you're excited about, but
dude, yeah, Mario Odyssey, top of the list there. Yeah, so Mario Odyssey looks great, plays great, reviews great, like previews great. Everybody's touched it. That's great. I can't wait. Killer app. Got to play it now. Video games aside, because I'm not doing Assassin's Creed. Like, I think I'm done with it. That no discredit Assassin's Creed Egypt or whatever it's called. Looks great, plays great. It's fantastic. You know, Kyle mentioned this in the podcast last week, I think, where you said that like Days Gone kind of has that Horizon vibe, which kind of has that Assassin's Creed vibe. I think I'm kind of done with that vibe for a while. Like, I need some distance from that, like sneak up to things, attack things from out of the sneak up area, like run around and beat it, and then go on to the next thing and do it again and over again. Like, I'm kind of done with that for a while. I need something else. Like, it's a lot of games are doing that, not just PlayStation games. Like, just a lot of games are doing that.
Sure.
So, the horror stuff, guys. You guys don't know. Like, I'm such a huge horror fan. I own like every Friday the 13th, every Nightmare on Elm Street, every Halloween movie, every Chucky movie. If you guys didn't know, there's a Chucky movie coming out in October too, The Cult of Chucky, which I posted in our Discord the other day. I'm such a huge Chucky fan. I get such a mark for Chucky stuff.
Terrifying. It reminds me of Pearl.
Caroline and us, like Caroline and me would be the worst couple because I drag my wife to every like bad horror. I watch every like if there's a horror movie that you know of, I guarantee you I've seen it. I watch so many bad horror movies, like just the ones that are awful. Just because I just
Dead?
Yeah. Oh, God. That's not bad. And then some. Yeah, The Evil Dead's one of the best horror movies. Are you crazy? Like I love to be scared. Like I have always been that way. I love scary movies.
Don,
I'm not.
You watch the super indie, like really like murder set pieces type stuff. Okay.
Yes. I'm not so into though the Saw series, and I'm not really into like the gore horror. Like I watch them all. Like I love the suspenseful like thriller horror. Like I'm all about like the Insidious stuff. Like I'm all about like the shrieking violins. I like the jump scares. Like I'm more into that stuff than just like I'm going to take a drill bit and put it through somebody's kneecap and make you cringe. Like that's not scary to me. It's just kind of gross. I still watch them because there's some, like I want to know what it is and stuff, but it's not like the Saw really went off the deep end and just like, let's just gross people out as opposed to like the first Saw was amazing. The first Saw was such a refreshing moment to horror
Definitely.
films.
Yep.
Yeah, but then they just like when you've got people diving into like a pool of needles and so you're like, oh,
syringes.
Just stop.
For me with Saw, so like I agree with you. The first one I was like, wow, this is amazing, and it wasn't. I mean, it was gory, but it wasn't too bad. The rest of the Saw movies, only because I wanted to see where the story was going. As bad as the story was, like what's the deal with Jigsaw? I actually skipped through all of the devices, which is what people go to see Saw for. Is like, what are the traps? What are the things? I skipped through all those and just watched the scenes in between them on DVD. So,
sorry, I was chatting. And Joshua throws up Cabin in the Woods. Have you guys seen that Annabelle Creations getting like rave reviews? Like, you definitely got to watch that. It looks amazing. So I'm all about October. I cannot wait for Stranger Things. Like it is my favorite Netflix series to date, like bar none. I bring with some hesitation to that because I said the same thing about House of Cards, and after about 4 seasons, like the first 2 seasons,
got bad really fast.
The first 2 seasons I was super in on. The last couple seasons, like I just completely wore off of. So I'm a little afraid. Like, oh my God, please don't ruin my. Please don't. Like if they just didn't do Stranger Things season 2, I'd be okay with that because it's so good. The first season was so good. I don't want it to be tainted, but I have faith that they're going to deliver. It's such a good like throwback and all the other horror stuff. Plus, like the Halloween that's going to be involved. Like I cannot wait to play Resident Evil 7. I've been waiting to play Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, me too.
Until then, I guarantee you we're going to be able to get a deal in that game. Like, right? Like, I'm not the only one that's like, I'm going to get Resident Evil 7 for $20 that week, and I'm going to play it. It's going to be awesome. Like, I cannot wait. I'm super excited for that.
Do you still have PS Plus?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Did you download Until Dawn? Have you played it yet?
Oh, yeah, I beat it.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you had played it or not.
Yep.
Yeah, Donnie and I played it a long time ago.
I streamed it with my wife. We both got crazy.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Now I remember.
We got crazy drunk and did all the stuff.
Got crazy drunk and did all the stuff. Okay. Wolfenstein, do you care at all? You going to play that one?
No, probably not. And it has nothing to do with that game. Like I played the first Wolfenstein, Kyle. I played the DLC. So don't.
Yeah. I feel bad for the game. I just think that's a really excellent series. And this game might suck. Who knows? But I feel like it's just a really rough time for that game to come out. Because I feel like most people are gonna
between now and like December 31st. I've already bought like 30 games. Like at some point I've got to stop buying video games. Like I got all these Amazon games. I've already got my pre-order set. Like I'm buying all the Switch exclusives, Hot Shots Golf, Uncharted. Like I have a packed fall.
You're turning into Coach Mo. You're just going to buy all the games.
Well, I've always been like Coach Mo light. I don't buy every game that he does, but I've always been, I'm like Coach Mo, just exclusives. But Wolfenstein's sliding into that like early 2016 like post-holiday window. Like if I want to, like when it hits like that $35 like
That's
July
right. I just go back in
sale.
time and play that game.
There
in early 2017.
Oh, sorry, 2018. Yeah, definitely. Good catch.
Just mess with you. All right, so we'll move on real quick. NBA Playgrounds. Hey, only 2 months late, but on the Switch, it finally got its online multiplayer, so that's kind of cool for those of you who have it. For me, I'll probably give it another stab because they also said they also fixed some of the timing issues with layups and shot timers, stuff
They
like that.
have a meter
Rhythms.
now. They didn't fix it. They just have a meter,
That's
so
right,
there's like
sorry.
visual feedback.
Yeah, so now you actually know when you're supposed to
Yeah.
double tap the button. So make it a little bit better to play. However, it is still missing. There was another update that the consoles have that added all new players and some new tournament courts and stuff like that. That has not reached the Switch yet, so that's a little bit behind. But if you didn't know, although we talked about it here before, if you did buy NBA Playgrounds on the Switch, when Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn drops, you will get that for free.
I won't even
think,
download that.
What is it? Seth and I are the only two people that are like, heck yeah, I'm going to play Shaq Fu.
I'm not. Nope.
Come on, it looks like Streets of Rage. There's nothing wrong with
Oh, stop.
that.
Is it really sad that I had no desire to play NBA Playgrounds on PlayStation, but because I might be able to get Shaq Fu on Switch, I might do it?
Man,
Yes,
Kyle.
Kyle. It's really sad. No, to answer that question, yes.
Okay, well, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Because look at it this way, I think Shaq Fu is going to, I mean, if it doesn't launch for $20, that's what NBA Playground costs anyway. So you're going to get 2 games for $20. And even if Shaq Fu is $10, that means you get NBA for $10 too, and you get them both. So
See, I look at it, by the time Shaq Fu comes, I'm hoping to have Runner 3 and SteamWorld Dig 2, and like I've got other things to do besides Shaq Fu.
I'll play Shaq Fu over Runner any day of the week, but that's just me. All right, so yeah, that's it on that. All right, so let's talk about ARMS a little bit, because I got some questions for those of you that have played ARMS. So along with the weirdness of ARMS anyway, and so Kyle thought Splatoon was weird, so let's get into ARMS.
I read some of this today, so
Yeah, so the game's Twitter is starting to give ARMS a bit of a backstory that I guess isn't really fully fleshed out in the game itself, which is fine.
No, it's not. That's what Destiny did, and I didn't like that either. Like,
Okay.
no, it's not okay to like go to this website and read about the game that you bought.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, I didn't know for sure it wasn't talked about in the game. So then you're kind of just backing up on saying that it's not talked about in the game. So 120 years ago, thanks to the invention of the masks that help fighters maintain their spirally arms, the sport of arms was born. Reads a recent tweet from Nintendo's European Twitter. Nowadays, the Arms League gives out these masks free of charge to anyone afflicted by the arms ability, making it sound like, hey, you catch some weird STD and your arms get all jiggly, so we're going to give you these masks and you're going to fight other people for our entertainment. But you don't have control of your jiggly arms until you put on the mask, which makes it even weirder. So this is just as weird as Splatoon is, and if you get behind the lore of Splatoon and what happened to the world and the squidlings and the octolings and stuff like that, that was a little bit dark and macabre as well. This is just weird because now they're talking about like, hey, you know, the new update will give players a chance to fight as the end boss. And the way it works is people will fight and you get the mask, and then you're able to put on the mask and be able to possess that ARMS character, I guess. So it's really like whoever has the mask can become Ninjaro or Springman or Noodle Girl or whatever the heck their names are, whatever. So this is just really weird, Donnie. Do you have any, is there any sort of explanation further in the game other than like, hey, these masks help people, or it just sounds like a weird slave type thing like, oh, you got this weird disease. Here, wear this mask and fight for entertainment, slave.
Not that I know of. But again, hey, I think of everybody here, I've played that game maybe the least. And that's not to say I haven't played it at all. I've probably played it for like 10 hours or so. But like to me, that game is like, it's like Wii boxing. You know, like I play it with my kids. Like
Right.
it's just what we do. Like we boot it up, we pick characters, and we beat the crap out of each other, and we laugh, and that's it. And we turn it off. And like maybe I play with Jason sometimes, and I haven't played with Seth yet, but I've played with a couple other people, like a couple of our followers on Twitter and whatnot, when they've promoted, you know, that they're doing stuff. But I haven't. Like I've went through the solo campaign. I'm on level 5, just halfway through it. Like I think all of our other folks are level 10. So I mean, I don't know. I have not seen anything at all that's relegated any like backstory between the folks. You know, and even like when they kind of do, like in the campaign, when they're like, well, you know, this so and so character, you know, whatever, I skip through it because I'm like, I'm not here for any of that. You know, Max Brass came this week with the DLC, so I just like, well, I mentioned that like there's an extra character that just came to ARMS, and like they're gonna keep rolling out more characters and more stages, just like Splatoon. But yeah, I'm not in that game for those reasons. Like for me, ARMS replaced 1-2 Switch. It's like 1-2 Switch was like this cool like demo of what the Switch can do. Like now ARMS is now like that demo of what the Switch can do, and I think that's kind of where it resides for me.
Yeah, it's just weird. So they add more characters means they just found more diseased people that need to make fight. But it's just bizarre. So Caroline, you played a little bit too. So Twinell or Twintel, whatever her name is, the one with the hair. Why does she get to fight then? She doesn't have jiggly super arms.
The disease infected her hair follicles instead. Now, if you, it's weird. Mechanica is the only one that is not actually affected. And the way that I figured out who is affected and who is not is you can look at their irises. If they have the swirly little irises, they have some sort of genetic defect. Mechanica is the only one that has regular irises. So you guys look that up.
This is the weirdest stuff I've ever.
Well, I look at character design and concept art because as a designer and an artist, that's what I like to do. But I don't know. I mean, Master Mommy was infected with a bug when he was a corpse. But apparently this genetic defect can bring people back to life.
But yet if you have the mask, if you take his mask and put it on, you become him. So
yeah.
I don't get it. Because it's like, okay, is the mask infected or is the person infected? Because it doesn't make sense either way. Like,
I'm with Donnie in that I'm not really playing the game for the story that it's come out with. Like Splatoon, I really appreciate that Nintendo has gone into creating this new sort of lore and just interesting stuff that gets you interested in backstory of like, here's the world they're in, here's the characters, here's their backstory, stuff like that. They have their own language too. No, I take that back because Ribbon Girl says a bunch of English words. It's hit or miss. But I'm with Donnie in that I agree. It's more like a demo game. It is something that's like, look at our pretty Joy-Cons and how awesome they respond to, because I mean they're flawless.
Okay. I was about to say I disagree with that statement until you kind of backed it up that way, because in a lot of ways I actually think Nintendo made an Evo game. Like, this is a very competitive game, and when you know what you're doing, it's deep. Like the whole rock paper scissors mechanic, like there's a lot of very competitive gameplay at it, and if you're good at it, you can exploit that, and that's like, I appreciate it. I'm just not good at it. So I'm not going to invest 100 hours of my time trying to be good at it.
I'm not either. I'm in the boat where I get my butt kicked by a Japanese player, or people that are coming on as a tag team duo that are like,
I get beat up by Jason. Just like 9 out of 10 matches, Jason just beats the snot out of me. It's not even close.
I like trying out the new arms that I get for the different characters. I think that's a cool aspect of it. You can only play through Grand Prix so many times before you get really bored.
The best part of that game is the character design. The characters are fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah, they're all separate. They're all individual. Kind of like Overwatch. Like, they all have like their own individual style, which is fantastic.
And I'm very, very excited for all of the new characters that they're going to release down the road, because when I originally saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love the way that Ninjara looks. Then they released Min Min, and I'm like, Min Min's my girl. Then they showed Bite and Bark, and I was like enamored with Bite and Bark's design for a little bit. I'm just going to be really interested to see character design and the attributes that they have.
But if I'm being 100% forthright and honest, Kevin, I won't care crap about ARMS once Smash comes and ARMS characters are in Smash.
That's another thing.
I'll just play ARMS characters in Smash and probably never play ARMS again. Like, just being 100% honest, I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm play Twintail in Smash.
Smash is probably, if you can call it, it is an esport. It's Nintendo's biggest esport, and I think that they're trying to push the esports thing with. They've got Smash, they've got Splatoon, trying to go up on a bigger scale, and I think they wanted to add ARMS into their esports repertoire. And to me, it's just one of those niche games that some people are going to be really obsessed with getting good at. And I'm just not one of those people. I guess I just don't like to be physical and getting up, because I can't play it on handheld. I have to actually be up there holding the Joy-Cons, swinging my arms around, and it gets tiring. So maybe that's why I'm just kind of not as big of a fan of it as I thought I would be. But there are aspects that I like, and there's aspects that I don't like. I will play Max Brass once I get a chance, but I downloaded him today. So that's all I have to say about that.
Fair enough. 2 stories left to go. I'm going to give Donnie the pleasure of talking about the next one because he's probably the most excited person on the show right now about this next one. Yes,
you
sir.
You can talk about all of it.
Yes! WWE 2K18 is coming to the Switch. All right. So there's 2 sides of the coin for this one for me. I've actually been wanting to work this point into the podcast for a while because in a lot of ways I feel stupid or blind or, whatever. WWE 2K18 is coming to the Switch. It's the first time that a WWE wrestling game is coming to a Nintendo console, I guess at launch, air quotes, since WWE All-Stars on 3DS, I believe. It never came to Wii U. All-Stars came to Wii, and then some of the WWE 2K games also came to Wii. So it's been a long time. And for anybody that's owned a Nintendo console, especially, dude, if you owned it during the N64 GameCube years, like wrestling games and Nintendo go a long way back. There's still tons of people, Greg Miller himself, Mr. PlayStation, wanting a throwback to the AKI THQ wrestling games of old. Like there's a lot. I'm like, that's a big majority. Like that's not a small group of people. A lot of people are like, just go do what you did with WWF No Mercy or WCW NWO Revenge. Just do that with today's people and give it to us. You don't even have to upgrade the graphics, just the same thing. And that's what people want to play. So in a lot of ways, WWE coming out to the Switch in its first year is a big deal. Now, that said, they haven't shown any of the game at all. Nope. They just said it's coming to Switch. They did say that it's coming this fall. They didn't say the same date as the other consoles, but they didn't say later date the other consoles either. So I don't want to overread or underread into that point. They just said it was coming this fall. The other games are also coming this fall. I moved my Miitopia. So earlier in the podcast, when I said that's what I did. I moved my Miitopia money to WWE 2K18 on Switch. I've pre-ordered 2 games from 2K. I've pre-ordered NBA 2K18 and WWE 2K18, and neither game have I seen at all yet. They both come out soon in the next 6 months. I have not seen one clip of what the game looks like. There's a part of me that thinks I'm stupid for doing that. There's another part of me that thinks that 2K lives up to their reputation and they don't deliver garbage. So there's like a blind faith that's going out here, but I know that I have that blind faith more than some other people. Like, I'll buy anything Naughty Dog does. I'll buy anything that Housemarque does. I'll buy anything that Tokyo EAD does. So, like, I don't care what it is. If those developers are doing it, I believe in it, and I'm going to buy it. Like, those developers have, they've got my money. Like, they've got my faith. 2K's close. I can't say that I've played an NBA 2K game that was bad. I can't say that. Like, I even played the Vita one, and it, for a Vita version, it wasn't bad. Like, it played well. Or, I'm sorry, PSP. So, to correct myself. So, I'm excited. A couple points that I wanted to ask you guys based on this was, what do you think? Like, is this good or bad news? Because there's like, again, there seems to be a flip of the coin. A lot of people are taking the stance, well, it won't be as good as the PS4 version, so therefore it's bad news. I would take the stance that even if it's not as good as the PS4 version, like, maybe the gap between Switch and PS4 isn't as big as the gap between PS3 and Wii, right? Like, we're not talking standard definition versus high definition.
Yeah.
We're talking both high definition. They said it was fully featured, so it's fully featured. All the modes are coming. And if you guys have seen the FIFA port that's coming to Switch, whatever that is, it looks really good. And a lot of people put their hands on it and said it's really good. So I'm excited about it. I will be the optimist here. It's not my Nintendo fanboy. It's really my WWE fanboy. dude, I love wrestling games, and my son loves wrestling games. And you guys, I think I'm the only WWE fan, like current fan here. Like, we watch wrestling every week. I tweet about it all the time. If you follow me on Twitter, like, we're big fans. So I'm totally on board, and I'm really excited that Nintendo's getting this type of third-party support in its first year. Like, 6 months ago, Kevin, in March, not even 6 months ago, we didn't think this was going to happen. We didn't think any of these games are coming, you know, in the first year. We thought that they had to prove themselves in year one. Maybe they come in year two. I think that we're seeing some companies move some resources around, saying, "Hey, we got to get on a game on the Switch right now. Like, we've got to get a game on it now because that's where people are buying some games." I think that's a good point. I think it's positive.
I agree. This may be what gets me back into wrestling games. To be honest, being on the Switch is a good fit for me. I haven't played one in a long time. When they switched off of the kind of grapple approach from the N64 days, I played a couple on like GameCube and stuff like that in PS3, and I was just like, nope, I don't like this. So I hope it kind of, it doesn't have to be the same as the old games, but bring back a little bit of that for me. And
that's what I wanted to say. They've kind of come back to that. Like good. 2 or 3. I've talked about with Seth in our chat. 2 or 3 versions ago, they were doing like this grapple chain thing. It was basically like a quick time event. Like, yeah, press this button to this button to this button. They've gone away with that, and now it's kind of it's still complex. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell you it's simple. It's still complex, but it is a strong grapple, weak grapple, run, punch, kick type of combination controller layout.
So I mean, yeah, this may be something I investigate. It's not a day one pickup or anything like that for me. Obviously, you have much more invested in something like this than I do, but if it gets good reviews and people are like, hey, this is kind of cool, then I'll do it. I'll create my own character because I probably don't know 95% of the roster now anyway.
You can download characters. That's one of the best things that they've done in the last 3 versions. They've opened up create a character where you can just, like, the first thing I do when I get the game, I spend 2 hours downloading all of my favorite wrestlers of all time because people constantly make them all the time. Yeah. And to promote it, if you're an Xbox Live member, they got WWE 2K16. Still, probably in this generation, my favorite subscription game that I've gotten free access to. Just fantastic. Me and my kids still play that game. So,
all right. So, Caroline, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you don't care at all.
Donnie's WWE fandom is like me tenfold with college football.
You're talking about the biggest Ohio State fan you'll ever know.
We got some words to talk about them later.
Go Bucks.
I appreciate sports games. I don't play them so much.
Whoa, this is sports entertainment games.
Yes.
Okay. I will say that I don't care if it's support. I'm just glad that developers and producers are saying we want something on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah. We don't care if it's a pre-existing game. They're realizing that the Switch is a contender and that it's where people are getting their money put into and that they want to be able to have a piece of the pie. That's really all I got to say about it. I think we're still going to talk about some other ports, but
yep. Fair enough.
Yep. Good for them.
Kyle, final words on WWE.
Well, I'm not going to buy it. Doesn't matter what console it's on. I'm not buying it. I haven't played a wrestling game since the original NES. I think it's good that it is coming to Switch if people buy it. If people do not buy it, it is probably not great that it is coming to Switch. And for me, I mean, realistically, the Switch is likely going to be an exclusive machine for me. Anything I can get multi-platform, more than likely I'm going to get on PS4 anyway. That's just my main ecosystem. Yep. But some JRPGs and things like that, I might be convinced otherwise. But for the most part, the Switch will only be exclusives for me. So
that's completely fair. And Caroline brought up a good point too, saying it's good to see publishers supporting it. And if it sells good, then that's great. But if it doesn't sell good, that's going to hurt it, I think. We talked about so many things like, okay, we want people to bring ports, but if they bring a port over and it doesn't do well, is that going to turn off a bunch of other developers to say, hey, I'm now not going to bring this game to the Switch because it's not worth my time or my investment or whatever, the bad press it gets when it doesn't sell a bunch on Switch. Hey, this is the first Switch game that didn't sell 100,000 or 500,000 copies, then that's going to be all over the news, and it's not quite fair. So,
what do you guys think about me pre-ordering 2 games we haven't even seen a screenshot from? Is that just terrible? because I'm actually feeling
We
some
haven't
guilt.
seen a screenshot of Fire Emblem for the Switch, and I've got that on pre-order.
Like Fire Emblem,
the
the
traditional Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, like the new
okay,
RPG
you're right.
for the Switch.
You're right.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough. But yeah, all right. So speaking of Switch ports, then, so teasing for a while now, and now it looks like we may have some more concrete evidence that we're getting ports of Bayonetta 1 and 2, and possibly Wonderful 101 as well.
Yeah.
Just more ports, which we talked a little bit about before we actually hit record for this. A little bit about Bayonetta. I don't care. The games are fine, but it's so Bayonetta 1's been ported to the last. If this happens, the last 2 Nintendo consoles. Get over it. It's a good game, but it's not
Hang on.
groundbreaking.
To touch on the news, Platinum Games in Japan released a new Twitter account. That Twitter account put up 2 screenshots. One screenshot was Bayonetta, the first Bayonetta character model, the second Bayonetta character model on top of each other in a blue and red Nintendo Switch kind of yin-yang look. A lot of people are reading into that, but there's a lot to read into, right? The second picture that was put out was Wonderful 101 characters sitting around a table playing Wonderful 101 on a big screen, totally using Joy-Cons and a grip, like a Famicom-style grip layout. They weren't the same colors, totally using a Nintendo Switch. Like that's the Nintendo Switch controller with the grips and with the Joy-Cons and the grip. So the hubbub is that Nintendo Switch might be getting ports of Wii U games from Platinum Games specifically in a Bayonetta, maybe a combo pack, maybe a 1 and 2, Bayonetta 1 and 2 combo pack, or maybe separate releases, and a Wonderful 101 release. Just to touch on the news, just to cover that.
Yeah. For me, Bayonetta, it's whatever. If they release a 2-pack and it's like $30, and I'll play it again on Switch.
It's $30. It will be $30.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know it will be, but it's just like how many times? But like in all honesty, Bayonetta 1 was on what, GameCube and PS2?
No,
360.
was it?
That was Bayonetta came out on the original 360.
Yeah, it was 360, and then it came to Wii U.
No, it came to PS3, and it was an absolute nightmare the way that they ported it.
Okay.
But then it still came to Wii U after that, too.
It came to Wii U packaged as a disc with Bayonetta 2.
Well, they did both. They ended up releasing them separately, too, afterwards.
Yeah, they did.
So it's like, all right, I don't need to play this game again. Like, so it's fine. People missed it, and that's fine. But if you missed it, it's not because you didn't have a console that couldn't play it, because it's been on every console. So that's
it's on PC now, too.
Right. That's what I mean. So,
they just released that.
Right. So it's got to be a value to get me to buy it. I'm not the market for it. That's fine.
That makes
I'm
sense.
much more interested in a Wonderful 101 port, though. I would play that again.
Okay. All right. Let me jump in. So if I'd imagine if they released a Bayonetta double pack, it'd be at some sort of value price. I just imagine that. Like I'd imagine it with $40, $39.99. $40. I could see them doing it full retail. I could. Bayonetta 2 got rave reviews. Now I'm gonna pass to Kyle when I get done saying my thing. I played Bayonetta 2. I almost beat it. I beat Bayonetta 1 on Wii U. I don't think neither game is an amazing game. I think they're good games. Nothing wrong with them. They're just good games. They're not like incredible, like best games I've ever played. They're great. Like they're just good video games. So I'd be okay with it. I may even probably purchase Bayonetta to play it again because I liked it. I like hack and slash games. Like they're fun. Like I like God of War stuff. Bayonetta's kind of in that vein. I'm all for it. But it's not like I'm going to run out and pre-order it and like it's like the top of my to-do list. It would not be. It would be very much at the bottom of my current shopping list. I don't like Wonderful 101 as much as other people. I think primarily on Wii U, it was because of the touchscreens. The whole gesture, like draw a T or draw a circle, and like I didn't like any of that at all. So if they cleaned some of that up and map it to traditional controls, maybe, because I like the look. The look of the game was cool. But the controlling and mechanics of the game I did not like. Now, I say that because I know Jason Lacy does. Like, having known Jason for years, Jason and I have had disagreement about this for a long time. He really loved Wonderful 101. I didn't. So, you know, to each their own. I would only be interested in Wonderful 101 if it was getting some sort of, you know, game mechanic, some sort of control layout upgrade.
Sure.
What I wanted to piggyback to you guys, I guess after Kyle jumps in about his Bayonetta response, is what do you guys think about Platinum Games releasing some ports? What do you think about ports in general? Are there any Wii U ports that you wanted? I already tweeted mine, so I'm not going to go over mine. I tweeted 5 or 6 games from the Wii U generation that I'd love, but I will say I think this is good. I think it's good if they can release a couple ports in a lineup. You know, like everybody needs that mid-tier software. So I'm all for it. I guarantee you not a lot of people played the Wonderful 101. So, you know, if they can get that out in front of more people, like good for them. If they can get a Bayonetta combo pack out in some people that eventually makes Bayonetta 3 possible, good for them. Like, by all means, don't use my opinion as the end all be all for games.
So I will touch briefly on Wonderful 101 first. It was, as a game I'm familiar with, obviously I didn't own a Wii U. I would play it. I thought it looked interesting. So that is a game that if they were to port over, I would definitely take a look at. In regards to which Wii U games would I want ported? Port everything. That's fine. I'm cool with it. I'll probably buy some of them that I never played. I think we are so much in the generation now that people are going to continue to bring games forward, especially if the Switch is as easy to develop for and port for as people say it is. I think we're going to see more and more of that just because it's an easy way, especially if they didn't recoup as much money they wanted to out of that Wii U game, that they can probably for not a ton of an investment. And maybe that's why we see, WWE 2K wrestling coming is just, it's not a huge investment for them to make that port. Now, in regards to Bayonetta, I might get my Nintendo Shack card revoked, but if they announced a port of Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 coming to Switch, and it was releasing this fall, it would instantly be my most anticipated Switch game, even over Super Mario Odyssey, without a doubt. I absolutely, the first Bayonetta is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time, and because I didn't have a Wii U, I never got to play Bayonetta 2. I need some more Scarborough Fair in my life. I like that world and those characters I find interesting, and I'm 100% down for that port immediately. Don't care when it is. It will immediately jump to the top or almost the top of my list. If it was in the spring, it actually would be harder because then there's a lot of PS4 exclusives I'll want to play. But right now, if this happens, I'm 100% down for it, and I am picking it up day one. I would probably even pre-order it, which I rarely do. I know, right?
Caroline.
You know that there's no Scarborough Fair in Bayonetta 2. It's called
I know, but I
2,
still
right?
can play one.
Okay,
if I get one, too.
I'm just letting you know. I would also probably buy Bayo 1 and 2 if it were released as a port on the Switch. That being said, I am more interested in the fact that First for Figures has said that they're bringing a Bayonetta figurine out, and it's probably going to be a couple $100, but I am sure it's going to be gorgeous and probably will buy. Let me think. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I did mention Wonderful 101 a couple weeks ago in Twitter, wanting people to yay or nay it for me. It's been one of those ones that I've heard chatter about that I'm not sure if I would pick up or not. This might sell me on it if they are giving it to me on the Switch. I honestly, when I saw the teaser picture, though, I was thinking that it's more or less going to be a sequel. I don't know if they're going to do a port of the original or not. It looked to me like they were working on something new.
Another 2-pack, 101 and 102.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
But anyway, I'm more excited for Bayo over Wonderful 101 just because I've played Bayo. But I'm all for ports. If we're going to talk about the ones that I want to have, Hyrule Warriors, Paper Mario Color Splash, put Super Mario Maker on there. They've already done Shantae.
Super Mario Maker is the interesting one because of the touchscreen controls.
It is.
Like, how would you do that on a TV screen? I feel like the reason we don't have Mario Maker is because they haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to come up with some sort of peripheral.
I like that idea. I love the idea of them doing you can play Super Mario Maker on the go, like in portable mode, and if you're going to play on TV screen, you can use your tablet or phone. I think that's the best possible way for them to do it. I don't know.
Or you just are forced to create your courses in portable mode, but when you play it on the TV.
I don't think they'll do that. I think that is the hiccup. I don't think they will say, you've got to pull the Switch out of the dock to play this. I think what they'll do is they'll come up with some sort of solution, whether it be motion controls, which would probably be the easiest solution, probably the worst solution, or they come up with some sort of, you can make courses on your phone and tablet and then play them on your Switch. Like, I could see that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Oh yeah, because their app stuff has worked out so well and in a timely fashion.
Well, they're experimenting with the Splatoon stuff,
dude,
with the voice chat and everything.
I can add, with the update that they did, I can add friends from 3DS to Wii U to Switch all at the same time. I know you're saying that, but dude, it wasn't 2 years ago you couldn't do any of that. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Short memory. It wasn't 6 months ago you couldn't do any. We were talking friends codes 6 months ago, and all of a sudden, all those friends codes I had on 3DS, I can just go add.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not timely with it. Look at the mobile games. Hey, we're supposed to have 2 more mobile games by now. Where are those at? Right. Oh, that's right. We don't talk about those.
If you do remember, you could make Mario Maker courses in your web app. You could also save them from your computer and play them on your Wii U later. What if they just tied that together where you can make them on your computer and then play them on your Switch?
It totally works. But it's just going to open them to more flack, much like the Splatoon headset type scenario where it's like, God, why do I have to do all this to do something simple?
That's the pessimistic approach.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they can map a basic control system to Mario Maker. I do. Like, you can hold a button down and drag, a thumbstick left or right. It's not going to be perfect, but you could do it. But I definitely think the reason why we don't have Mario Maker yet, and what reason hasn't been announced, is that stuff's being fine-tuned.
All right, fair enough. So that will wrap up the news for this week. So before we kind of let you guys go off into that dark, dark night and have to wait another week till you get to hear our lovely voices again talk about stuff, let's let you know where you can find us and find out what we're up to in the meantime. So Kyle, where can people find you?
Well, in the interim, I'm going to go cry myself to sleep after I met my hero Caroline and then she crushed my thoughts on hippos. But you can find me on Twitch and Twitch. You can find me on Twitter and on PS4 as Psychocross, CYCOCROSS. I don't really know how friend stuff works on Switch. That's what my name says. I know I have a friend code. I don't understand any of that stuff. So find me on there if you can. I will have a review for Plague Road up soon on the website, so be sure to check that out.
Oh, speaking of which, breaking news, Kyle. I forgot to bring this up as we were chit-chatting. The developer for Plague Rogue was just invited to become a Nintendo developer, so we may see some stuff heading that way as well, so that'd be pretty cool. Caroline, where can people find you and what you're up to?
People can find me griping about not being able to beat Zelda DLC and then finally gloating about it on Twitter at the Nintendame. Also, hit up my Switch or 3DS codes on the PSVG website underneath my profile.
There you go. So, Donnie?
You can find me on Twitter at PlayNintendo. You can find me tweeting about WWE stuff and Cleveland Cavaliers stuff and all kinds of weird, unrelated Nintendo stuff. Come join us in our Discord to throw that out. Like, we started a Discord maybe 2 weeks ago. I do think it's been a pretty good success. We've 10, 15 people have come join and chat with us throughout the day. You can come chat with the team. So we talk about articles that we're going to post, reviews that we're thinking about doing, also the news. Like, it's just good gamer chat. Like, if you're listening to the show and you're like, man, I'd love to talk to these guys, that's it. Go to the website, playsomevgames.com, click on the little Discord channel. You can join for free. We don't charge anybody for it, which some people do. We don't. So you can come chat with us anytime you want, and we chat all day long. Like, that's one thing, except for Kevin, who apparently whose work has basically banned us or whatever for productivity reasons. But I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been a big success, and I want to continue to support it. So definitely come join our Discord. And when we have more Recruit 8 nights, or we're playing Halo on Xbox, or playing Overwatch on PlayStation, all of that stuff is there. We have voice chat channels you can join. All the details are there. So if you want to do more with Team PSVG, that's the place to do it at.
There you go. So Donnie mentioned the website, playsomevgames.com. Discord channel's been plugged. So you can follow me at Twitter at PSVGKevin, real easy. And if you want to follow the site, it's at PSVG, also really easy. head over to Facebook, facebook.com/PlaySomeVideoGames. Follow us there where we post our new article and news updates. We'll hit there first, as well as Twitter. We'll link you over to the website so you can see everything we're up to. You can also review us on Facebook as well. Let us know what you think of the site, the podcast, etc., etc. Also, make sure you subscribe to us, youtube.com/PlaySomeVideoGames. You'll see our Let's Plays, our video reviews, and even the live broadcasts of this show if you're interested in watching the train wreck as it happens and not, produced and edited for your, entertainment needs, I guess. I don't know. There's been some witty banter on today's show, I guess you could say, if you're following along. So, to say the least. But yeah, so that's it. Hope you guys had a good time. But before we leave, we have one last question. So I want a simple, no explanation. Just give me the name of it. If Link were to be a character in WWE 2K18 on the Switch, what would his finishing move be? Kyle.
I have no idea.
Donnie.
This is hands down the easiest answer, and that is the SubZero swing, which is where SubZero picks up a character by his feet, he swings them around in loops, and then lets them go, just like his spin sword attack.
I said no explanation, just the name.
I'm using Kyle's time.
Caroline.
He pwned ya.
Shacktastic.
Oh my god, I can't follow that. I can't do it. All right. Silent but deadly. That's mine. So as always, boys and girls, remember to never stop gaming.